Today is Wednesday, December 27th, 2017. 2017. I'm not going to say that too many times. It's already going to be 2018. I am Goz. This is MMA Junkie Radio's pre-show, the show before the show. To my left is the host of MMA Junkie Radio. His name is Gorgeous George. To his left, Dan Tom, MMA Junkie Radio's fight analyst. To Dan Tom's left, Randy. Pew, 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 pew. Randy. Pew, 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 pew. He is our site coordinator for MMA Junkie Radio. And, well, he's not here right now, but Buffalo Blue is around here. He would be to Randy's left. And then the world's greatest producer, he's in New York. His name is Danny Elkers. How's everybody doing?
Good.
That's me.
Good. Everybody?
Why isn't he the best fight analyst in the game and me the best host in the game, but Danny's the greatest producer out there?
Because Danny called me on it for not saying it one time.
Oh, you're making up?
And then, Dan, I don't think you like being the greatest, right? And then
Oh yeah.
You don't like the greatest fight analyst?
Dan's job. I'll take it.
It's funny. It's funny. No, it doesn't matter. I just kind of feel funny sometimes because I'm like, it just feels like I don't know. It feels weird. I'm a little too self-deprecating for greatest, so I.
And then, yeah, I guess I could call you the greatest host.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, you guys is fitting.
Thank you.
You guys is fitting, by the way. You guys put your time.
Thank you,
in.
Noah. All right, so Noah, you hanging out for 2 hours or 1 hour or half an hour? What's your deal? All right, what about you, Randy?
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew.
All right, I want you guys to co-host part of the show if you guys want.
If you go to the
2 minutes.
if you were to look at our live stream, you know how it like freezes on the first picture? It's George like this with his hand over his head.
That's great. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I'm actually pulling it up now. That's great. That's great.
It was something I wanted to bring up yesterday.
It wasn't about Star Wars, was it?
No. I got a lot to
wait.
say about Star Wars.
Did you say, what did you just say?
Danny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched Gremlins last night. They're counting that as a Christmas movie.
It is.
Is it?
It's also one of the best. One of the best
Coming up in a minute.
random left turns in a movie when the girl decides to tell the story about her dad getting stuck in the chimney playing Santa. It's such a dark left turn, like needlessly dark, but it's so awesome.
How about that little kid giving away a Mogwai for $200?
That is true.
Jesus.
You
know he got his ass whooped when he went back in that shop.
Speaking of 80s movies, you still have something to pay off, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
Both of you,
that's
both of you.
right.
Yeah.
I will make that happen.
I have the Snatch movie, right?
Yeah.
Number 30. You could not have planned to say that any different. Phrasing?
All I had to do was say I have the movie Snatch, and he would have been okay. But it's the Snatch movie.
We've lost Gorgeous George.
I
Snatch is
have
a
to
good
listen
movie, though,
to
so
a
you'll be happy,
podcast
yeah.
about Over the Top, George. Remember that
Oh,
movie?
dude, it's great.
With
Yeah.
Lincoln Hawk and
All right,
John
coming up.
Grizzly,
Stand by.
Scotty Adams. Remember when Scotty Adams comes over the top?
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Go. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yes!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us. Can you dig it? There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. From MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Ghost.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Ghost, our co-host. Back east, handling all the producing duties, Danny Otto. Our latest addition to the show, the greatest fight analyst on the planet, Dan Tom. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great today.
I don't know how that guy's doing, but I'm doing pretty good.
These two buffoons over there, neither one decided who wanted to co-host the first part.
Oh.
So call one, summon one over here. Go, Randy. All right, come over here, Randy.
Pew, pew, pew.
This is Randy Field, the site coordinator for MMA Junkie Radio. He's going to co-host at least a half an hour with us. He's the greatest site coordinator, according to Goes, on the planet. What's up, Randy?
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, let me get him on.
Did you have a nice Christmas?
I had a great Christmas.
Don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
What was your best gift?
Friendship.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I didn't get a lot of gifts this year.
No?
I get myself gifts throughout the year. So
Okay.
I honestly didn't really get
Did you
any
unwrap
gifts.
anything?
Some stocking stuffers. So I got actually I did get a plug-in heater for,
There you go. That's a
I
gift.
did get that.
Plug-in heater.
It's a little
Heater.
small one you put by your desk, and it heats up the area around you.
Oh.
I've never seen those before.
I've almost seen 2 fires start that way.
I hear about that.
Yeah.
Supposedly this is a porcelain inside, and it doesn't do that. But
Oh, well,
I only do it when I'm around.
what mine did was, see that little trash can over there?
Yeah.
I had it too close to that, and it melted the plastic.
So it didn't blow up itself.
No,
Okay.
but it melted something very close, which made that nasty smell.
Uh-huh.
Which everybody said that could have started a fire, and then the other one was another person.
I'll be very cognizant of that.
What about Goes the Bandit? Because you made out like a bandit yesterday.
I made out like a bandit, but I kind of got served. It didn't feel too good.
Really?
Well, no, man, I got destroyed.
Okay. Well, what
Like
was
10,
your
8
favorite
rounds.
gift of the of your whole Christmas?
Probably the Sonos speaker system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's between that and this.
Yeah, I noticed you've been checking the time a lot. Are you getting a handle on
You know,
that?
when I can say this because I told this person this, but when we did our junkie gathering,
Yeah.
a gentleman came in, and I had a meeting with him about doing the escape room. And the whole time during the meeting, he kept looking at his watch. And as I'm talking to him, I'm thinking, motherfucker, you set up this meeting. Like, where do you got to go? You're only like 5 minutes in, and you're already looking at your watch. Like, am I boring? What's going on? Turns out he had an Apple Watch, and so he was answering texts or looking at
You
text.
can answer a text there?
Yeah.
How do you type in the letters?
It's
Or do you just
actually really
you just
weird.
say like I'll be there in 5 and it dictates it for you?
Nah, I'm not Dick Tracy. Well, actually, you know what? It does, which is weird.
So you actually have to type in letters?
Yeah, so this is how you do it. So you hit subscribe right there, right? And you write it out like this. Hi.
Oh,
And
okay.
then send.
That's pretty cool.
But anyway, what was I saying?
The guy was being
Oh
rude,
yeah,
looking
so I
at
was
his
always
watch.
I was always against Apple Watches, and my girlfriend uses Apple Watches, and so she got me one, and right away it started paying off. Like, she was showing me all the ways that you could use it. That would be cool. But I think I could live without it. The Sonos thing was really cool.
Okay. Shall I move on or should I put
No,
Goes on
George,
blast?
George, what did you like?
Should
the
I move
best?
on or put Goes on blast?
Put him on blast.
Put him on blast.
He said something the other day that I went, Goes. I'll tell you what. He was explaining to you, or Mr. Buffalo Blue over there, the Heisman Trophy winner of 2009. He was saying, dude, I wasn't sure, but then I was convinced by my girlfriend how, was it you, Danny? Do you remember this? He's jerking off or
Sorry.
something. All right.
No, I'm
So
paying
then-
attention. I don't know what.
Oh, okay. So then he said, I didn't understand it at first, but after getting a quick tutorial, I now notice how valuable this can be, and now he's enjoying the gift, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking, how about the day that I told you how badass iMessages is on your computer, and he just kind of looked at me and said, "No, I'll stick to texting."
Oh.
And then now.
And this is a beast, man. Do you have this?
No,
iMessages?
I don't. Yeah.
You can basically text typing, and you're a lot faster of a typer
Right, yeah.
than you are a texter, no matter how fast you are, unless you're Scott Highway. You ever see how fast he is?
Mm.
Back in the day, he had this, it was T-Mobile had that thing where you and it opens, it slides open, and he had these 2 fingers. It was I don't know. Never mind. But I tried to explain to Goes the benefits of iMessage, and he just went, "No, I'll stick to texting." Like, my lesson went out the window.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I don't know. I don't know.
I can kind of take it on the chin, but they're a little different. Like if you told me, "Hey man, I just spent $300 on iMessage," then yeah, I would try it. But yeah, I kind of was forced to have to try it.
All right. What happened to your voice? You lost. You sound like Jake Ellenberger in a weight cut at the end.
Swallowing it.
You guys remember when Jake Ellenberger's voice changed?
Yeah.
No.
What was that? Has that ever happened again?
Nah.
Jake Ellenberger had this bad weight cut once, or I think right. They interviewed him, I think, on Fox Sports or something.
Oh yeah.
And he just had a different person's voice. He sounded like Marlon Moraes. I don't know what happened. And then as he rehydrated, he was back to normal. But I think it had to do with he was that dry. It was actually pretty funny, right?
Go sounded like
Can
Ray
we laugh
Romano.
about it, or was it anything
I think
serious?
you can laugh about it.
I don't want to have to face him. He's an OC guy now.
No. He's got a great sense of humor. Yeah, it'd be a funny question to ask him. You should call him and ask him.
I'll ask him if when we call him, you go, "Hey, did you think they stopped the Perry fight too soon?"
Fuck. Why would I do no?
Oh, God. Well, you said he had a great sense of humor. You know who's got a great sense of humor is Nate Quarry. Yeah. He's actually said that before. He goes, "I thought they stopped the Franklin fight too soon. It wasn't his best moment." That's, fighters can be self-deprecating, and sometimes that's honestly the best way to deal with it.
Yeah.
That crushed my heart, man. I love Jake, and that fight, I thought he had put together a game plan where he was going to do similar to what Ponzinibbio did, and that's just chop down the tree. Not go in there and firefight because Perry's dangerous. And Jake, I think, had mixed in a takedown and some striking and a few things. Yeah. But Perry just comes back with one big elbow, and that's it, dude. That guy's dangerous, Perry.
Oh, yeah, man.
But he still needs to work on cardio and whatever. All right. So did you ever tell us what your best gift was? Or?
It was probably the Keurig coffee maker. I ended up getting...
you did say that, I think.
Yeah, I was telling...
the lady, right? Stepped up.
Yeah. Got me some nice sweatpants and shirt. But I was explaining to the guys, I'm on back order. Like, I gotta make up for like the last year or two. So I had to come strong, and the rest of her gifts coming. We're going to Disneyland first week of January there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's my main gift to her, and then little stuff.
Quick reminder: we won't be here on the 1st, which is Monday.
Yep,
we won't be here. And Goes and I may figure out a way to just Facebook Live and talk about these fights that we're anticipating on Saturday. Quick update: Rivera has no opponent as of right now.
Yeah,
I think he really is officially out. That sucks. I really wanted to see him fight towards the end of 2013. There was so many great bantamweight fights, and this guy's kind of like in that position where I guess he could fight. I mean, what should Dillashaw do next? If he fights DJ, does Garbrandt want to come back so soon and fight maybe Rivera in 3 months? Is that the fight to make, or what's Cruz's setback? What, he had a broken forearm or something like that? Mm-hmm. When does he come in there? There's 3 guys there, so who's that 4th piece? Marias, Asuncao? I don't know. That's why I wanted to see Rivera fight, on Saturday, but they couldn't make it happen.
That division is so much more fun than people give it credit.
It is.
We always talk about the featherweights and what's going on at welterweight, middleweight right now. But that division is actually a lot of fun.
It makes me feel guilty for saying it because it is so fun. It is so stacked. But at the same time, Rivera, what makes his story so sympathetic, he's on a 20-21 fight win streak or something like that. And he's a guy where I guess the best advice you could say is stay ready, because he's a guy where if they did with him what they did with Tyron Woodley. Remember when Woodley was supposed to face Hendricks? That didn't happen, and then Woodley ends up getting the title shot and now has been the champion since.
True.
I actually wouldn't be too mad if for whatever reason, this scenario where they needed a challenger and they just pulled Rivera without him ever having this contender fight that's escaped him.
Yeah, but that means no TJ versus DJ, and I'm hearing that's really, really warm.
That's true,
that's
yeah.
Gonna happen.
See what happens with that,
yeah. So does Rivera want to wait till March when that allegedly might happen, see how that gets settled, and fight until July? Because even if that's the time they use to get better, or I can recover from nagging injuries, you still don't get paid. And what do you think is going to happen on this weekend? You think he's going to get paid?
Yeah,
I
think it will.
At least
just the show.
At least, yeah. But it looks like the show and win hasn't been paid out in a while since the new era.
Yeah,
I think that's just the new thing now.
Well, here's another thing. You see Reebok upped the money a little bit. not much, and it looks like the newer fighters or less experienced fighters are getting more of that taste, I guess. And I think it had to do with the fact that the websites out there are pretty, sharp and meticulous about, like, wait a minute, this is a 6-year deal, and you're this far in, and I think it wasn't matching after 2 years where they should be, which is 1/3 of the way there. And so the UFC had said all of the money goes to them with the exception of just the person it takes to man it, I guess. But I remember Dana making it sound like it really wasn't, wasn't much, but whoever has to run this, we have to handle that, but everything else is supposed to go to the fighters. And it just wasn't matching up. It looked like $5 million behind the pace because it was like a $60 million deal. And was it 7 years or 6? But regardless, it looked like they were either $3 to $5 million behind. So then now they're going to start upping a little bit of that money. But Ariel Helwani put out a tweet that was interesting, and he said, "Shouldn't have this been collectively agreed on?" And it's true because that's what unions do.
Yeah.
So the fighters get together and say, "Well, why those guys instead of the mid-tier guys, or why not these guys?" That's what they collectively agree on, and then they huddle up with, I don't know.
That's a good point.
I'm just wondering, like. About 1 year ago, this time is when, what was it, Bjorn Rebney and Cain Velasquez and Dillashaw, Cerrone, GSP all got together, and it looked like it had legs, and then it kind of went nowhere. But that's just one of those situations where fighters, if they only knew that collectively they're so strong, but individually they're nothing.
But you need the guys at the top. That's the
right.
The guys at the top have to come along because without them, it doesn't make any sense.
Right, but they're making so much that they don't want to burn the hand that feeds them or bite the hand that feeds them. Excuse me.
In the short term, though, I'd be trying to collect my extra dime with my own type of bargaining, like going down to the Reebok clothing station when my fight card happens, going, "Hey, I got a couple cornermen that haven't made it in yet, but they're about my size. Maybe that color, maybe one of those colors too, and then the other color."
Well, I think it's like that. I think when you go there,
they're pretty free about that. You can load up.
Well, I don't know that you can walk out with 30. But if you were to just say, "Let me grab a couple extra," I don't think they're balking at it.
I'd be abusing it.
Yeah.
I know there was a misunderstanding early on where a few fighters actually got charged for their kits.
What?
And they had to fix that.
Oh.
Say that again?
So early on, when this first happened, I had heard from a few fighters that when they get paid, they had been deducted the Reebok gear for their cornermen and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that was just a mistake.
Oh, that literally was like right at the beginning, right?
Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a mistake or it was something that was brought up and then they fixed it.
Yeah.
But that sucks.
Are you ever jealous when you watch the NFL teams and you can just tell that when a quarterback's going to the sideline of a cold game, he's getting a brand new, badass parka put on him, and then he just kind of throws it and falls in the mud.
Yeah.
When it's time to go back out for offense, and you sit there online going, "Man, do I have the $200 to buy that? I really want to support my team."
That's not
and
even.
And you go, "I don't want to do it." But these guys just have that, and beanies, tags still on it. I mean, they get all the gear they want, you know what I mean? And I have to actually contemplate pressing enter.
Yeah.
Do I really want it? Is it in my budget? Should I be doing this? Oh, man.
That's why I said that
the
one
worst
thing earlier.
one is soccer. Because you get 2 millionaires that go, "Hey, you want this? Yeah, here, take mine." And they just get rid of a jersey, and they get a brand new one. 2 million.
Well, that's a great tradition, don't you think?
It is a great tradition, but it does suck because I'm the guy that's like, "Oh man, can I?"
The
afford
NFL
brand
players
new
have
jersey?
started doing that. Have you noticed?
Have they?
A few of the NFL players.
That's
The younger
cool.
generation is actually changing jerseys, but I remember I used to see that and go, "Okay, that's pretty cool." Then I went through a phase where I was like, "No, that's the enemy," and then I think they did a special, one of those. Do you remember about 5-10 years ago? First they had MTV Cribs, and then I think the UFC did something like that. And, they had that for soccer. And there was a player out there that said, "And this is my closet." And he opened it up, and in one section, he had about 50 jerseys from other teams. And he flipped through it. Dude, there was some cool names. There was Maradona and Bautista and Lawless and Baggio. And I forget who it was, dude. I think it was the crazy-haired Colombian guy.
Valderrama?
I think it was him.
You know,
and he had exchanged jerseys. But if you just saw the cool ones that he had, What?
So this happens mostly in international soccer.
Yeah.
But what's really funny is when you get a really high caliber athlete,
Mhm.
and you'll get the young up and comer from the other side that goes straight to him and says, he probably wants his jersey. But if you look at that guy's look on his face, sometimes he doesn't want that Scrubs jersey. He's looking to exchange with Maradona or someone else. That's kind of a fun exchange to watch.
And then, if you notice another thing, this whole Adidas, Puma, and Nike thing, a lot of them, like you be the young scrub and I'll be the superstar and ask me for my shirt.
All right. Mr. Maradona, can I have your shirt?
Well, I mean, yeah, you didn't have to utter the words, but basically he does the motion of, like that.
Oh,
They always do that.
So
And then
like
the other guy will go like this. He goes, and basically says, yes, but we got to do it off the camera. We have to do it in the tunnel.
Yeah, they do.
Because if Adidas and Nike exchange or
wow,
Puma, so
nice.
sometimes they'll look or whatever, and they'll make sure that happens,
So there's no Mean Joe Green moment.
So there's
like,
even
"Thanks, Mean Joe."
politics in that. What?
Wow.
There's no Mean Joe Green moment. Like, thanks, Mean Joe.
Oh,
Did you ever see
man.
him Family Guy did that?
Yeah.
Or was it Family Guy? Yeah.
It was.
he threw the jock strap,
Jack,
right?
that kid got more than the jersey. Real quick, speaking of soccer, for a Chipotle card or for Chipotle on me,
I'm all ears.
you
Go ahead.
you guys only get one guess. Dan Tom has 2 soccer jerseys. One of them actually has a player's name on it.
We're supposed to guess this?
Spain.
Okay, that was a good hint.
It's a player from Spain.
Okay.
And it's one of the 3 brands that George mentioned for jerseys. That helps narrow it down.
All right.
You guys get one
How
guess.
about- Wait, collectively we get one guess?
No, a piece.
Okay.
So you guys either both
Randy
or
involved too?
Chipotle. Randy, sure, yeah.
All right,
Randy
cool.
can answer
All right.
Chipotle too.
So,
But Randy doesn't know any names, huh? This is where you-
Garcia.
That's
That's a
That's
great
actually
guess. That's a
pretty
guess.
good
great guess.
All right.
Okay.
all right, let's cover different areas.
Yeah, you gotta think,
Okay, so I'm going to go Luis
What are we going to do?
Enrique.
Split the bowl?
Huh?
What are we going to do? Split the bowl if one of us wins it?
No, I think we collectively, don't we, as a team?
Wow, you're putting Dan Tom on the spot.
Dan Tom's been to 2 cities in Spain. He's not the most hardcore of football soccer fans, so kind of narrowing it down. to
No, but he's going to fuck it all up in a second.
All right, well, all right, I'm going to go Villa.
Okay, David Villa.
Yeah.
Captain David Villa. Not a bad choice. What do you got?
When did you go to Spain?
2009.
I didn't know we could ask questions. I'm looking.
I'm going to go with fucking Howie D. Always tweeting my ass when it doesn't matter. Now when it matters, he ain't helping me out. I'm going to go with Raul.
Okay. Blue, do you want to guess on this too before I reveal her? Okay, you got 4-4. He Luis Enrique. Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos.
I thought you were going to say yes. I thought he was going to say Lionel Messi. I'm like, he's Argentinian. Okay. No. Okay, he's legit.
Randy kind
one
of
of the best,
the Danny route, huh? Gracie.
Casey.
No, but that was a good guess because I was just
Yeah.
saying that the other day on Family Feud when I've seen people hit the button and then they don't have an answer. And I think at some point you just got to say anything. Ice
George.
cream or whatever.
2017's almost done, but 2018's coming. Can you make it a point at some point in
Boyd?
2000? You gotta get that video.
I'll try.
You got to, even if it means breaking into his house, whatever. I'm
I'll
down.
try. You saw it, right?
I saw it.
That
It was
was funny.
amazing. Tommy saw it. He always brings it up.
If you get the
George?
video, I'll wire the pride balloons up top.
One
His
of
wife
George's
didn't
friends-
want to let us watch it again
I
because
know.
she didn't like the way we laughed. We used to. He said, "Go with Ronaldinho. He's Brazilian."
Who said that?
Howie D.
What?
He goes, "Go with Ronaldinho." But it was a Spanish guy, Howie D. All right, so, yeah. So we used to basically when we were younger, whoever team was playing would host the Monday Night Football, and in this case, it was the Green Bay Packers hosting somebody. Doesn't matter who. So we all went to my buddy Boyd's house, the hardest high fiver in the world, and
Who was in the witness protection program at the moment? Because it was all the way up in the woods. I
yeah,
don't
it
know
was
where
way
it's
out
from.
there. And we get there, and I think during halftime, somebody knew that his family had been on Family Feud. And so they said, "Hey, Boyd, bust out the Family Feud VHS." This was a while ago. And so he goes, Should I? We all convinced him. So we put it in, and his family got smoked. And his family got smoked. They didn't have the best look, the best representation, you know? Yeah, and but as we were laughing, like we were like holding our nuts and rolling all over the carpet, back and forth, high fiving, fist bumping, dog piling. It wasn't just like giggle. It was like literally, it looked like we were having a laugh at his expense.
We were.
And his wife, we were, but that's what we all did,
Sounds like
right?
it. Yeah, but
We all got clowned at one point.
This
or
was the
another.
90s, right?
But
Yeah.
to our
Yeah.
credit, some of his answers were just ridiculous. Like I remember specifically one of them was like things that come in a thermos, right? And the first person right away was like soup, you know, and the next person's like Kool-Aid or something. And then he just went like Jello, or like, it just didn't make any sense. And it was one after another after another. It was great, and it was two episodes they were on.
2 episodes.
And
yeah.
wasn't there one of them where he even bagged on him? He just kind of looked at him like, I don't even get your.
The guy's
bag.
name
Like,
was Ray Coombs. So before Louis Anderson and Steve Harvey, and after the guy that used to make out with the chicks,
He was
a
the
guy named Ray Coombs. I
touchy-feely
think his
guy?
name. No, that was Richard Dawson, the original
Okay,
guy.
never mind.
Where
Yeah,
you go?
that's
Where are you from? And just mac on him. But so this guy, it was the Schultz family, and then the whoever else is, right? The Garcias, I don't know. And I remember, so Boyd's a good high fiver, but he's got a strong voice and he's very like charismatic, and so is his brother. And so they were making a big deal. Yeah. Second strike, we're gonna steal. You know, making a. And on one of those, I remember the guy goes, "Pipe down, Schultz family." He goes, "You got a big goose egg over there." And it's funny because they were sitting on 0, and the other guys had like 100 or 200. They were on the verge of winning, but the Schultzes were acting like, "What's up?" You know. So that was one bag. 2 was when Boyd went up there, he hit the buzzer and said nothing, right?
Yeah.
And we were all saying, "Did somebody mute it?" Or you know. And of course, everything we said, we were drunk. We just laughed.
That's great.
And then another one was, I think it was their chance to steal. Got it. Boyd over hears this. I'm not trying to clown your family, Boyd. We're all having a good laugh. All right. So this one was, it was their chance to steal. So they're all huddled up. The other family's going through. The question was, name somebody famous with the last name Marx, right? And so I think what had been said was Karl Marx, the dictator. Groucho Marx.
Richard.
Who? No, that was the one that was left. And so, you know, the Groucho Marx and somebody else Marx, whatever. So they huddled up, and the family had expired their 3 strikes, and then they go, "Schultzes, you have a chance to steal," and they're all saying, "This, that, this, that, this, that." I don't think anyone said Richard. Richard Marx is a singer. And all of a sudden the mom, see, this is where it sucks, because I'm not trying to bag on the mom, but I think they just panicked. They had nothing. She just goes, "Brothers Marx." Now, either the sister or the brother actually had a good one that still wouldn't have won it, but they were saying something along the lines of the Marx clan or whatever. And she just goes, "The brothers Marx." And even the host goes, "Okay." "The brothers Marx." Boom. And then the other family won. So it just didn't go well for him. But it turned out Richard Marx was the one that would have stole it and won it for him. But, you know, Boyd is good at saying, "We were dumb, huh?" You know, it's just that his wife, I think, got a little protective, and she wouldn't let us see it because we're like, every time we'd go over, "Come on, we got to see it again. We want to see it again." No. He kind of wanted to, but she kept saying, "They're making fun of you." You know, and
I would pay to watch.
She
it
was
again.
spot on. Yeah, we are. But guess how many times I've been made fun of? And Woody and Squid, we've all been clowned, you know. But yeah, on this particular case, I mean, what else could we have been doing? Celebrating their shutout? I mean, yeah, we were making fun.
So they ended the show on a shutout. They ended the show with a 0?
Did they? Did they end up with a 0?
I don't remember, man. 20-some years ago.
I would say this. I am so desperate to see this again, and I think all of our friends are, that they could probably do like a pay-per-view where if they told everybody like, "All right, give us $50 each and we'll watch it again."
We could get 20 people to pay $1,000.
Yeah,
pay for the
totally.
barbecue.
Dude, if you guys had a video of me trying to tightrope walk a rail and I slip and nut, and you guys could play that every Christmas, you have my permission. Like, that's just funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just
$20 right now
that's
to
a
see
gift
that.
for everybody. Like, you know, you're just like, you do something stupid. Like, I'm just like trying to tightrope walk on a rail and I slip, and you know, like you all see the guys, they nut, the pipe goes right between their legs and they fall the skateboarder, right?
Oh man!
Like, if you guys had a video of me doing that, you have permission to play that every year and laugh.
You know what video I would die for?
What's that?
The guy sitting over there, Buffalo Blue, one time was smashed at Legacy Stadium. I had only seen him drunk.
Which time was it? Junkie, the Junkie Gathering 1, 2, 3,
you have like
4,
a
5.
certain amount that you have to spend there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just goes away. And we had a lot left over. And he goes, "How many Jaeger shots is that?"
Oh, Jesus.
And it was a lot. The girl came out with a bunch, and he ended up drinking the brunt of it. But as he was walking out, there's this escalator, and there's this railing. And somehow he hopped up on it, put his ass on it, and just slid down. You know, like Richie Rich or some shit. And I remember as he did it, I turned around and I could see people's faces, and they all kind of had that look like, oh my god, because on the other side means he would fall, like about a story, fall.
A story?
Shot.
No.
At least where the roof is. That's
Oh,
how,
fall off the side.
yeah. If he fell backwards, because he was drunk.
But at the end, he just landed on his feet.
Well, he slid all the way down, and not only did he make it all the way down, which he probably shouldn't have made it all the way down. I know I couldn't do that sober. He made it and stuck the landing, dude. He landed and kind of even went ta-da like that. I'd never seen somebody
That's
so
awesome.
drunk
Could he do it sober?
do so. I don't think so. I think he could do it 100 times. I don't think he'd ever be able to hit that ever again.
Okay. we're going to go to commercial, but when we come back, see if... Can you still make this work or no?
I'd have to
See if you can find
Good
that
track.
kid in England who slid down. Did you see that one yet?
Oh, yeah.
You saw it? It's funny. It's worth it.
Yeah.
is it?
It's on Facebook.
He slides down and it just doesn't go
Oh,
well.
the guy hits his nuts.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
And he
that's
jumps
great.
over.
We'll
into
see if
the
we can
other
find it. We got a 5-minute break coming up. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Yeah, I said it. 5 minutes. This is what we do. We double one up, and then that way we don't spread them out like the other shows. All right, we'll be right back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Did I say that before? I don't know. We'll be right back.
reluctance, because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device, and then tell Alexa to set up an alarm for your favorite channel. And you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. All right, our first guest is ready to go. Goes and I were in Virginia when this young man fought. We were watching it with 300 military personnel, Army to be more exact. And Yancy Medeiros went out there along with Alex Oliveira and put on an amazing fight. Goes, the troops were fucking dying,
right?
weren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they were cheering. People couldn't believe what they were watching. It was UFC 218. It was a little bit under a month ago, and fight of the night they got. I think Joe Rogan said that might have been the best round he ever saw. Right, round one. Yeah, it was amazing. He joins us now on the hotline. It's Yancy Medeiros. What's up, Yancy? How you doing?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing, man?
Great, man.
Happy, Merry belated Christmas.
You too. And premature Happy New Year. Safe and Happy New Year for you.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to it.
How was your Christmas, by the way? What was your best gift? We've kind of been talking about that on the show today. Did you get any cool gifts?
I mean, family time's always the best gift for me, but I mean, I think you guys know I can't officially talk about it, but I think you guys know what my gift was.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That is a nice gift. But let's go rewind first. We'll rewind first. We were actually visiting the military, and we watched with like 300 military personnel the whole UFC 218 card, and there was a lot of great fights. But one of the ones that really set the wheels in motion was you versus Alex Oliveira. I mean, you guys fought your asses off. Of course, it's a lot easier to ask you these questions than Alex because you were the winner, but honestly, it didn't seem like there was a loser. But first of all, how are you feeling after a war like that? Second of all, was that just like the greatest night of combat sports for you? Is that what you signed up for when you became a professional fighter, a fight like that?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I trained for. That's what's expected, and that's what I accept when I'm in there. I know I'm going to get hit. I mean, the game plan, like I said to everybody, wasn't to block all those punches with my face. But I know deep down inside, like, that's what I accept. I'm in a fight. I'm there to entertain, but there's two men battling it out to see who's going to stand, who's going to stay standing. That's first and foremost. You can't be a sportsman about that when it comes to the essence of fighting. You know, I can understand that. So for me, I know that's why the ref's there, because he'll watch for my safety.
Right.
Other than that, I'm going in there to try to take heads off. You know, in a respectful manner because we're competing. But when you're in there, it's like it's kill or be killed. You can't. For me, that's the mentality. I can show my respect, but my reaction or what I'm going in there for is to take you out. And when the ref stops it, that's when everything can come back to normal.
You know, I think about guys like Matt Brown, the Diaz brothers, your homies, Cub Swanson, where you get in one of these wars. Carlos Condon's another one that comes to mind. You get in these wars, and now the fans, they love it when you sign up for a fight because they're expecting those wars. Do you, as a fighter, as a professional athlete, do you embrace these wars, or do you realize that for your long-term health and at the same time, as much fun as some of those punches to the face are, some of them aren't fun? When do you start to turn the page and go, well, I'm going to be more cerebral and maybe not worry about these wars and fight of the night bonuses as much? Where do you stand on that?
Oh, I mean, first and foremost for me is my health. I mean, yes, I'm competitive. I'm down to go to war, but that's not my initial reaction. Like, oh, I'm ready. I'm gonna stand toe to toe and see who takes the harder punches. That's not something I pride myself off of. I understand I can take a hit, but that doesn't mean I want to take these hits. Unfortunately, you know, these fights just ended that way, and that's where I feel, you know, adversity and all this down. You know, when things is down, you gotta know how to prevail. And I feel in the aspect, if I can't keep it, you know, things ain't looking right on my side doesn't mean I'm gonna quit. But I ain't thinking about going to war every single fight. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
But I don't want that. I don't want to be going toe to toe. I understand. Look at all the OG fighters. Look at like Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, all these old time fighters. Like, you know, they have a hard time being mobile and maneuver, and you know, just as the fight game exceeds, your health's supposed to exceed too. It's not supposed to deplete, and that's a big factor. That's something that I really focus on because of the fact that I don't want to be immobile after my career is done. So that's a huge factor that I focus on, especially when it comes to training and fighting.
Yancy Medeiros, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio, coming off arguably a Fight of the Year candidate, possibly the best round ever, and that's the UFC 218 fight he had versus Alex Oliveira. He came out with the win, 15-4 overall, 3-0 in his last 3 fights, and 2 bonuses along the way, and those last 3 fights have been at the welterweight division, 170 pounds. All right, goes. What do you have for Yancy Medeiros?
Yancy, how soon after the fight did you watch it, sit down and watch it? And can you kind of describe a little bit of your emotions as you're watching it? Because you're presenting a different side that a lot of people don't really take into consideration. You know, we're all sitting there going crazy. It's a great fight. But you're right. Some of these blows can be life-altering. So can you kind of describe a little bit the state of watching the fight and when you watched it?
Hello?
Hey, you there?
Sorry, I broke up a little bit on the question.
I was just asking, how soon after the fight did you watch it, and can you describe your state of mind as you're watching the fight? Because it's got to be different than the way the fans watch it.
Yeah, I think I was able to watch it like when I got home. So when I got home to Hawaii, where I could actually like sit down and like really like try and put myself in the outside perspective and correct myself, and I was just like, I took way too much hits. And Cowboy is definitely tough. Alex Oliveira is definitely a tough individual. Usually I can punch people, and I feel like I punch hard. I feel like I got power in my punches. But usually I punch people, and they make adjustments, and you know, they'll back off and give you some space. Like, I punched him right in the square in the nose, and he literally ran after me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, this guy's he's gonna take it. we gotta make some adjustments. And you know, he freaking dropped me that first drop, and the first thing in my head was, this motherfucker dropped me. I can't believe it. Like, I got so pissed off. I was like, oh, I gotta get back, and I got egotistical. I got prideful. You know, I was like, I gotta punch him back. I gotta drop him. Then he dropped me again, and I'm just like, yeah, you gotta get back to the game plan. You can't let your emotions take over, and that's the big factor in the fight. That, you know, I wanted to turn the tide and try and punch him back, but it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish and how you implement and stay on your game plan. And those types of battles is going to make me lose if I'm just trying to stand toe to toe with him and battle that out. Especially if I'm on the defense.
What did the match
really, you know?
Yancy, what did the matchmakers tell you, or even the brass, you know, Dana White? What did they tell you right after the fight?
Honestly, I didn't even get to see them.
Wow.
Usually, I honestly never get to see them. I don't know Dana. On the real, I don't even have a personal connection with Dana White. He's my boss. I would like to get to know him, but that's what I'm going to have to do. That's my plan, to be an investment in this company. And I'm going to make them my friends. I'm going to get to know them. They're going to want to get to know me. That's the plan, because everybody in this fight game is an asset. An asset is replaceable. When you're an investment, that's when a company takes care of you. And how do you do that? You gotta find your windows of opportunity and take them. And that's what I need to do. Is I need to be an investment in this company, build my brand.
How do you plan on doing that?
Keep knocking guys out.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I meant more seriously. Like, do you plan on maybe coming to Vegas, setting up a meeting, or anything, I guess officially,
Honestly, I would love one. I mean, after this fight, I have some renegotiations, and I would love to talk down and sit down and get locked in with the upper staff and have a good talk. And I want to know what they see in me and what my investment, what if they want to invest in me and how much am I worth to them? Because you get guys like Chase Northcutt, and they ain't fighting fights like me, but he getting paid way more than me. And he gets endorsed and he gets pushed out. And I'm not saying that's unfair. I'm just saying that I put in the work, and I know I'm entertaining. And I don't get fights like that guy, and I don't get paid like him. These guys give me headbangers. They give me guys that try to take you out. And I'm all for it. I just want to get paid. I just want to get paid more, because I know, like I said, I fight to entertain. This is an entertaining business. And you can't be, and I'm over here I'm gonna put my life on the line. I'm gonna put it all on the line. It's because it's kill or be killed. And I wanna, like I said, I wanna build my brand and do what I can with the time I have. This sport is growing fast, and the fight life isn't forever.
I like what I'm hearing, man. If I was in on that meeting, I'd be like, pay this man from Hawaii. All right, Yancy Medeiros, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. Got a couple more questions for you, Yancy. We're stoked to have you on. Randy, what do you have for Yancy Medeiros?
Hey, Yancy, how do you think the Hawaiian community would embrace a UFC event there, and what would it mean to you if they were to come out there?
Oh man, it means everything to me. That is definitely something I'm striving for, and which I would love UFC to give Hawaii. It's not even me. Give Hawaii that, because we get people. We went to Brazil. We went to Detroit. We have fans and people flying out all the way to Brazil for us. How can it not happen in Hawaii? We would definitely sell out the stadium. We have the greatest support. I mean, look, after I win my fights, I'm always like, I shout out my daughter and I shout out Hawaii, because that's how much love, that's how much support, that's how much they give to me. It's like it's unreal. Like I can't even like express how grateful and how much gratitude I have towards the support that the people of Hawaii give me. I mean, all over the world, but I mean, especially just living here, it's just so surreal. Have you guys been to Hawaii?
Hell yeah.
Yancy, I'm actually...
Yeah, okay, and you feel that... Oh, what's that?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I'm actually a fellow Hawaiian here, so, Yancy, I definitely hear you, brother, and I don't see even non-Hawaiian, media members couldn't really complain about going to cover a show there, so definitely with you on that.
And I've heard Max Holloway do some recent interviews where he's saying that in his conversations with Dana White, he finally got Dana White to turn a corner. Now, that doesn't mean that the show's happening, but he finally got Dana White to say, it looks like I need to come out there and deal with the whole stadium show, because I don't think they want to do the Blaisdell Arena or the arena that has the university. I think they really feel like if they go there, they need to do the stadium show, and obviously we know there that it can rain, and they'll have to make the proper adjustments for that type of a production. But if they built a fucking arena in the Middle East, remember they were worried about sandstorms and shit like that?
Yeah.
If they did that, they got to come up with some sort of a tent so that the event stays dry, or figure it out one way or another and have it in Hawaii, because now's the time. They got a world champion, and they got fighters that are whooping ass. They've had a great 2017. Yancy Medeiros, we mentioned Rachel Ostovich got a win as well. So did Max Holloway. You know what I mean? So maybe Smoke could take someone down this weekend as well. Now's the time. You gotta pounce on it. Hawaii is a hotbed for not only great MMA fans, but great MMA fighters as well. I mean, what are you waiting for, UFC? But luckily, I've heard those types of comments from Dana. So at least he's turning that corner, Yancy.
Yeah, and it's not just UFC. I feel like Dana could make it happen. It's Hawaii too. There's something like the whole Hawaii tourist, I forget what it's called, HTA, but they're concerned with passing it because of the fact that it's going to draw some type of, like, it's going to arouse the society or whatnot, or it's going to make it's a bad look because it's fighting. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And that's something that's in that I guess just came abroad and came upon, and now Max, and everybody that's trying to get this happening is having meetings with the people and trying to get that settled, because I feel like it would be great. It would be a great income for Hawaii too, just the state itself, for them to put fights out here. It would sell out. Put a canopy over that. Put a canopy over that stadium, and we should be all good.
Yep. I hear you, Yancy. And as a Hawaiian, one of the things that impresses me about you most, and I'm glad to hear you speaking about health, is that for people that don't know, not only did you used to fight at lightweight, but you actually came from a heavier weight. And as a Hawaiian that struggles with weight, man, really impressed with kind of how you kind of changed your lifestyle up. Can you speak on that? Did you work with the Diaz brothers and have an effect on your diet? And do you still cross train with those guys?
Yes, his brothers, Nick and Nate, are probably, my most biggest influence. Like, they influenced me in being a martial artist in MMA. Not an athlete, not a competitor, not just a fighter, but a martial artist, and I pay a lot of homage to them because they do live that martial arts life inside and outside the gym, and they're very. I don't know if you guys met them on a personal level. They're very respectful, and I just live with them. I was like typical Hawaiian, you know how it is. You eat lunch, M&L, drink beer after work, just that typical big Hawaiians love is like Southern food.
Yep.
Sugar, carbs, and salt.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And we spice it up. We spice it up 10 times more. So
good portions too.
That, I lived in Nick and Nate. Yeah, big portions. Yeah, but I lived in Nick and Nate. They live a healthy lifestyle. When it comes to nutrition and just what they do around themselves. And Nate, I spent a lot more time with Nate, but they've changed my whole nutrition and outlook on being a healthy individual or a healthy martial artist. I just stay with them on that part. And then, I still cross-train with them now. I'm based in Hawaii more now. I have a great camp here, and here collaborating it with all my coaches, with the world champ, and I just feel like I get a lot of attention, and recovery time is much easier for me being at home. But I still collaborate with all my Cali boys, my Cali fam. I go up there, I go and cross-train, see if everything down here is just keeping up to par. I still represent Nick Diaz Academy. Nate's my brother. 100. I still hold it down for him and Nick. Nick's the GOAT. He's the general. Still always pay my homage, and I'm respectful and loyal to them.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Yancy, when you first started off, a lot of times when fighters have successes, and then all of a sudden they start, developing, guys from their camps. You keep an eye on them and you watch, and you're like, wow, they really have a high ceiling. Can this guy get there and whatever? And I remember, and I'm shooting you straight here, I remember watching the first couple fights and going, well, I don't know if he'll reach that Diaz status. Those guys are superstars. But let me tell you something. I don't know what's happened in the last 18 months or so. I mean, you really turned it around, and you're right up there, man. I see Yancy Medeiros is fighting fill in the blank. Sign me up. I'll pay $60 if I have to. Your performance has been outstanding. You've really turned a corner with your skills. Your skill set's amazing. You're giving us a great interview. I'm already fired up for the next one, even though officially nothing's set, but we kind of have an idea what direction you might be heading. Consider me fired up and a fan.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm all about entertaining and passing out good vibes. It's just everything going around in this world, everything's so social, and regardless, good and bad, I'm trying to get more of a personal connection and try and pass out that good vibes, and I'm glad I could make you a fan, and, just be entertained, I guess, ready to just keep representing it, next stop to the top.
For sure. Well, enjoy the holidays, what's left of them, family time, be safe out there, and I guess we'll catch up in a few months as we lead into your next fight, we're excited about it.
Thank you. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, see you, Yancy. Take care. Thanks for the time.
Aloha. Happy holidays.
Aloha. You too. All right, and we're going to go to our last break. And, folks, that was Yancy Medeiros. Follow him on Twitter at Y, the letter Y, and then Medeiros. We'll be right back, folks. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93.
Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
All right, we're back. Goes is doing the twist. Let me tell you real quick about SiriusXM. They want you to turn on the joy this holiday with your chance to win a trip to one of 4 All-Star sporting experiences. The 2018 Pro Bowl in Orlando, the Honda NHL All-Star Game in Tampa, the NBA All-Star Game in Los Angeles, or the MLB All-Star Game in the nation's capital. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/All-Star Trip before January 2nd, 2018. No additional purchase necessary to enter or win. This sweepstakes is not sponsored, administered, produced, or executed by either the NHL, NBA, MLB, or NFL entities. All right, so there's not much time here to jibber jabber. We're just going to hang out here for about 60 seconds, tell you what's happening in the second hour, tell you what happened in the first hour. First hour, we're kind of like, you know, it was the end of, hey, how was your Christmas? What'd you get? Blah, blah, blah. We also talked to Yancy Medeiros. If you'll notice, we glanced over a recent announcement, and that's because even though Junkie and fighting and everybody has it on the front page, him versus Cowboy Cerrone in Austin, it hasn't been made officially by the UFC, and he wasn't comfortable at least addressing it directly until then. And I figured there was enough to talk about from what happened at UFC 218 and the holidays that I knew we could have a good chat with Yancy anyway. But, you know, this thing will be pretty official in about a week or two, and maybe we'll have him back on. All right. In the second hour, multiple-time fantasy fighting champion Buffalo Blue will join us. He will be co-hosting with us. But first, when we come back, we will talk to the baddest woman on the planet, Cris Cyborg. She defends on Saturday versus Holly Holm. We'll get her last comments here before the end of fight week.
Las Vegas with your neon flashing and your one-arm bandits crashing, almost hauled down the drain. Fever, Las Vegas turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be love hope never
Oh, okay.
to come back. I see people turn their heads and quickly look away. Like a newborn baby, it just happens every day. I look inside myself.
I love this song.
See my heart is black.
What's the name?
Painted Black.
Does anybody walk out to this?
Somebody has before. I want to say it was Kane. Did Kane walk out to this one time?
Kane? No, he comes out to like a mariachi or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I thought one time he did. I know somebody has. I just don't remember.
All right. So here we are. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. Quick shout out to Dave Madden. He's listening. He says Yancy Medeiros is such a gangster, and I agree, man. Jason Hurl, shout out to him. He's wondering if we have an Apple MacBook sponsor or something, because we're coming strong with the Apple MacBooks.
We should. We tried one time.
Yeah, they don't need us. Jake Charters, he shout out to him as well as Halford Rocker and Purity Markland. Team Cyborg all the way for the last two. Jake Charters, what's he saying? GSP is the rightful GOAT of the UFC. No one can do what he did. I'd like to see McGregor versus GSP next year. How do you feel about that, by the way?
What he's saying.
I think he is the GOAT at this point. When he came back and did what he did, it's tough to argue with his credentials. Now he's a multiple division weight class champ. He avenged both losses. He won the big trilogy of his career, which was the Hughes trilogy. He had 9 title defenses, not as much as Demetrius or Anderson, but Anderson went on to lose fights, like hang out. He kept hanging around, and eventually got clipped. And then, he's got the PED allegations. And then, of course, with Mighty Mouse, he did dabble at 35. He didn't avenge one of the losses. No, he didn't avenge either loss. One was Pickett, and the other one was Cruz. He does have the title defense record. But did he straight up face #1 guys like when GSP was fighting Fitch and Koscheck and Shields? They had pretty much said, I'm #1 and there's no disputing. Look, man, we're grasping for straws in a way. We're splitting hairs, whatever you want to call it. But I think when GSP came back after 4 years and won another fight, he may become the greatest ever.
You could say he did it almost through 3 different eras of the sport as well.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing.
Would you co-sign on that?
Yeah, definitely.
How about you, Dan Tom?
3 different eras. You know me, I got to put the little bit
would
of...
you co-sign on GSP, the greatest of all time?
No.
Oh, no. Who do you got?
Who?
I have to think about it, but you're gonna put me on the spot. I gotta go no. Boy, greatest of all time.
Well,
that
first tell us why not, and then
no.
you can tell us who the other.
Who's in the running?
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe yes, but
and you're next.
Can I say no to the last point you made, which is the whole 3 generation thing? I don't know about coming and picking in and choosing, and then kind of leaving. That that leaves a little bit of a bad taste.
Well,
so I at least have
more
to at least mention that.
Like the
but he did come in at a higher division.
You see what I'm saying? Like
the higher division that people have been challenging him for how many years prior when those money fights were available and the organization could have used them? Sure. Yeah. But again, I'm not trying to be a hater, just trying to bring balance to the force here. I will say actually, you know what, with the PED allegations of John Jones and Anderson Silva, that moves GSP up my list for nostalgic value. I will lean toward a Fedor, the anyone anytime. Obviously I have soft spots for guys like I think Henderson, Couture, and Penn are in their own league that are separate from McGregor. GSP, and frankly any other of the multi-divisional champions to come in the future with the way kind of things are now. I think we're going to have to recognize those are different eras, not taking away any of the new champions who are doing multi-divisional things or the old ones, but let's be honest, that was a different time.
All right, so give me who your finalists would be.
I think Fedor and GSP I think are your 2 now. I mean it's resume, clean cut, everything perfect, political answers, fighting who your division is, defending the titles, GSP, or MMA crazy Japan, fight anybody anytime. This is the sport. The guy with the dad bod beating everybody on crazy record, capture the imagination. It just depends.
Choi, Zuluzinho.
It depends
there was
on
a couple.
Yeah, there's
cupcakes on that schedule.
I think that's the argument kind of laid out there. I think that those are the personalities of both sides of that argument. Is that?
I like Fedor, but my problem with Fedor is if you pick him, then you automatically have to go to Fabricio Verdum, who his resume is pretty good as well, and he beat Fedor. So that's
Finished him,
been
too.
always my problem with those
And
two.
beat Kane, who's another guy you even talk
and
about.
fought in Pride,
all-time
too.
great.
So, like, he's done a lot of that stuff.
Well, I'm a big Ali fan, and there's a lot of things with Ali and Fedor. You know, obviously politics and more important issues kept Ali out from his prime, whereas Fedor, it was a little bit of different politics that were kind of crappy for us fans that wanted to see him in the UFC. But there's that kind of comparison, and then also, like, we all still think Ali's great, but we forgot Ali had a run of like 8 years where it was just past his prime, matchups he shouldn't have been, ill-advised decisions, not looking the greatest coming out. But even though we still, if we were asked, I wish I could erase those from history. Even though we can't, I still think we put Ali up there as that great. So I guess that's why, despite how things played out for Fedor and arguments you could make that was going on in his prime, I guess that's with the Ali lineal comparison. That's why I still hold Fedor in that high spot. But don't get me wrong, I'm not thinking you guys are crazy for saying GSP. I just like to bring up the other. You know me, I got to play devil's advocate. I want to bring up the other side to that, I think.
Oh, that too.
I think it's clearly GSP.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since, he beat
before Bisping, or Bisping solidified it?
I think Bisping helped solidify
All
it
right.
because it gave him something that several others had that he didn't, and that's that multi-class championship. But, he came in and beat one of the most dominant champs to get his belt. I think that's significant.
Yeah.
He hasn't lost his last 2 belts. He gave them up. Arguably the only close fight in there was that
Hendricks.
he didn't win in Fathom. Yeah, was Johnny, and that was kind of towards the end. And I think so. He was dominant. And
That's what he lacked, was finishes. You're right. When it was him and Anderson, it was a 2-horse race. Anderson had tested himself in a higher division and had finishes, and GSP never let you win a round. But those decisions were like, he's dominant, but you know what I mean. He lacked that. I guess those emphatic statements, those exclamation points.
Right.
But now Anderson hung around too long. And, yeah, we can still go back and say, let's just talk about their primes. You can do that, but there's going to be a lot of people on a panel, not just 4-man. If there's a 10-man panel, or if 1,000 of the greatest fans and media voted, there's still going to be people that go, well, I'm not giving you that pass. I don't care if he hung around too long past his prime. He fought. Arguably, GSP, if he lost to Bisping, we could have said, oh, well, he hung around too long in the 4-year layoff, but he came back and won. You see what I'm saying? Whereas Fedor, I don't know that he hung around too long. The fight versus Verdum was not too far removed from the Wama fights or the Affliction fights,
Right.
when we were giving him all the credit for beating Sylvia and Arlovsky, who were both in the top 5, maybe top 3 at the time. Any rankings you saw, Arlovsky and Sylvia were there, and Fedor starched them. So anyone with a Fedor argument who said, you see, he took out the number 2 guy or the number 4 guy, if you're going to give him that, then we can't give him a pass 9 months later when he gets submitted by Verdum. He didn't,
and it was a clear
he didn't go
mistake.
over the hill in those 9 months. So then he lost to Bigfoot Silva, and then Hendo. His run was amazing in Pride. Like I mentioned, there was some cupcakes on the schedule, but there was also some beasts that he took out
in their prime.
And he was always the smaller guy. You got to give him credit, even though he wasn't technically a division. So even though he was fighting guys 40 pounds more, sometimes even 100 pounds more, there wasn't a division that clarified that. It was just heavyweights. Fedor got exciting finishes. I mean, he stiffed some guys out there. He got some submissions. But again, when you get into this GOAT talk, you got to split hairs. You got to just, something's got to fall.
You know, it is funny that you do mention that, not to hark on it too much longer, but those, the Verdum loss, but you think about the Arlovsky win, we're still giving guys like Ngannou credit for an Arlovsky win when we're admitting that Arlovsky's not the same guy. In fact, Arlovsky and Stipe, the 2 heavyweights at hand, both have wins over Arlovsky, and if you ask most fans when they break down this matchup, they talk about that they face 2 different Arlovskys, and you can make that argument. Now, what about the Arlovsky that Fedor fought? That was actually Arlovsky. You could argue at his prime. He was at Pretty Roach. He was in peak condition. And by the way, just to close it up, I'm not that crazy for people thinking, like, I'm not trying to discredit GSP here just for the sake of argument. In fact, my last Protecting Nick podcast, we did top 5 resumes. My co-host actually had John Jones over GSP because of his opinion on the, I believe, on the PED thing. But, if you take the PED thing, it's hard to not come up with either of those two. Now, I take the PED thing into account, so by nature would support Blue's choice for GSP. I think we just get wrapped up into the resume as opposed to fighter, because fighter is such a broad definition, and I feel like that's why I have to kind of trump that baton, because to me, I still have that old school fan where I still, not only do I love the guys like the Dan Hendersons, the Randy Coutures, but we're not going to see a lot of those guys in the future. That's just it's not they're not cut the same way. So
you know who the forgotten man is in this conversation?
Who's that?
He rarely gets brought up. Who?
BJ Penn?
No, he gets brought up,
That's
but he
my
just
boy.
doesn't get brought up as much as he used to because of the new great fighters.
Right.
But the one guy that if you look at the resume, you have to tip your hat, and a few things are going to be defined when John Jones appeals, and if he's successful, now Jones only with the one blip rather than the two, John Jones is in the conversation. You don't have to hear, well, but he popped twice or nothing like that.
Yes.
Is Cormier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
boy, wow, yeah.
If USADA, whatever kind of whatever happens there at this appeal, and however his allegations are defined, there's going to be a fair amount of people that are going to say, well, Cormier was fighting an enhanced fighter. That's not fair. And then when you break down Cormier's record, the fact that he was undefeated, like either 10-0 or 12-0 at heavyweight, and who he beat was some good names.
Yeah.
Captured some belts along the way, including the Grand Prix belt. Then come over to the UFC and become a champion there, as well as
weight classes.
Yeah. So he's got the multiple weight class going, and he's only lost to one man, and that man's the one that has a dark shadow casting over him for right now, because we don't know where that stands. His name should be in there as well.
It should, and it's not his fault that there hasn't been the names aside from the dark shadow he couldn't get past. But riddle me this, guys. If then that Grand Prix, let's say he not just gets Josh Barnett under his scalp, let's say he got an Alistair Overeem or a Fedor. Even with Fedor already losing to Verdum in this timeline, do you think that puts him over the argument? You know what I'm saying? If he had that name power on there
Fedor
early,
would help.
You know what I'm saying? If he got those scalps early?
The Fedor would help. All right, so we got these callers. Who do we have, Danny? Who's left?
We have Brandon, Louisville, Oreo, and Kinja.
Who do you want first, Danny? I leave it in your hands.
That's not fair. How about we go in order of who's been waiting longest?
Okay, who's that?
That's Brandon, Louisville. He called a long time ago.
Okay, what's up, Brandon? How you doing?
Gentlemen, not only have I been waiting longest, I'm also Danny's favorite, so sorry, Abel. I'm not really sure, guys, who the greatest fighter of all time is. I can tell you who by far is the greatest fantasy fighter of all time, and that is the man in studio with you. He's not just the greatest fantasy fighter of all time. He is a fantasy fighting god.
God.
And that is Buffalo Blue. It's, I called in right as you all were going to one of your commercials, and I hear you talking about legendary human feats while on Jaeger, and I was like, well, they're only talking about two people. It's either Buffalo Blue or Lackey, and lo and behold, it's Buffalo Blue.
Not only is he a fantasy fighting god, I said multiple-time world champ, but it was 10-time defending champion, right?
I've won. I think it's something about 31 belts now.
31 belts.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that you're keeping track or anything. But what I was going to say was he's also the internet sensation, right? That's you, right?
That is true.
That's the rumor?
That is true.
Okay. Yeah, so as an internet sensation, can you break something out?
I've got nothing that I can go public with at this time. I'm waiting for the go-ahead, but there should be some big stuff coming out in the next few days.
Okay.
You got to respect your sources.
Okay. Go ahead, Brandon.
It's kind of nice that he's in studio, because the reason I called, actually, was a thread that he started on the Combat Chat. Women fighting in Hall of Famers. Guys, what's your all's take? Who do we have that is a surefire Hall of Famer?
MMA or UFC?
Well, let's stick to the UFC Hall of Fame. They kind of acknowledge pride, a little bit of accomplishments there, but for the most part,
well, because I was going to say Gina
WWE
Carano's name needs to be thrown out, but she never fought in the UFC.
Okay, but we get it. Zuffa owned or Endeavor owned.
So
okay.
then, obviously Ronda Rousey's name has to be thrown out.
Just give me your. How about
Misha Tate.
How about we do Rushmores? You guys want to do Rushmores?
Okay.
All right. What's
Rushmore
yours?
of just the Zuffa?
Who's got their Rushmore ready to go for women?
Shoot.
Overall or just
overall? Right now, cold turkey.
Misha Tate
goes. All right.
Ronda Rousey. Gina Carano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I kind of want to throw Fujii in there, but.
Reg.
What?
What?
Amanda
Sorry.
Nunes.
Sorry.
Goes. You shouldn't have gone first. You need to put some time into this. All right, Blue, you want to go next?
Yeah. Fuji, Ronda, Gina Carano, and Joanna.
JJ. All right. Dan, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll be I'll be hipster. I'll go Fujii, Kunin, Rousey, and Cyborg.
Oh, sorry. Rousey.
Yeah.
Who else?
Kunin.
Kunin O'Brien?
Marlos Kunin.
Oh, okay.
My favorite.
Cyborg.
I told you we're going with the Kunin.
Cyborg. And what was the first one? Rousey, Kunin, Cyborg, and Fujii. Sorry.
But mine ain't that bad.
You don't even have Cyborg.
Yeah.
Well, but
and when she's coming up, she may already be on hold. She's gonna be pissed when she hears this.
That's true.
All right, Brandon, you want to go next?
Sure, Mount Rushmore. Let's go. Rousey's on there. Cyborg. I'm going to go Misha Tate, and I'm going to go Johanna. I don't like Fuji's catting of stuff in Japan. I know she's like the Hoist Gracie of the division, but it doesn't hold for me. And I think Holmes right there on the edge. She's number 5, but if she beats Cyborg, she's on there.
I don't think we can argue Rousey and Cyborg, right, guys? Will you give in to that?
No, look, the reason why I didn't have Cyborg
you did sound like a yard lady, huh?
Yeah.
Get in line, Brandon. Boys on one side, girls on the other.
I feel like Cyborg, because she just didn't have the level of competition, has to amount to more and able to be thrown in with these people. That's just my take. She's got to fight longer, fight more people.
Was Carano's level of competition?
But she beat Carano. Like Fujii, right? She kind of like almost created women's mixed martial arts in a way.
But at some point, like Hoist hung in there, but at some point it's like Jones and Demetrius and Aldo and GSP and Silva and Fedor. Like, I get what Hoist did, he did, but at some point it's like he can hang on for so long, and then you start realizing other guys did great stuff. Okay, well, yeah, if that's all right. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with. I think it's hard to get away from Rousey and Cyborg, and I think JJ has been pretty amazing. So I'm gonna put her in there. But JJ has to come back and beat Rose. If she doesn't, then I have to squeeze her out for the time being. But I really thought JJ was there, and so now Tate was a Strikeforce champ and a UFC champ. Not too many can say that. Fuji was a pioneer, but I don't know that she ever got tested like what Tate went through.
If Modafferi hit that armbar a couple weeks ago, would she have gotten on anybody's list?
No, because she has to overcome like 4 or 6 losses early in her career.
Yeah.
And put that so far in the rearview mirror where you just go, well, that was a whole different person. And it really was.
It was, yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
But I think I could either go Carano Tate, because Carano, I believe, even though Fuji is a pioneer, I feel like Carano is also a pioneer. And Carano just had, the one loss to another all-time great. And who did Fuji lose to? Esparza or Aguilar?
Zola Frosto in the tournament.
There was a couple there, right? And
then she ended up losing a few later on.
So I look at it as, well, we heard about her. She's from Japan. She's great. But what if? And then when she did what if, a couple things didn't go her way.
So who's your last one?
I think I have to go with Tate.
All right. Well, this is my argument. If you're going to have Rousey and Tate, how could you not have Amanda? She beat them both and pretty much in their primes.
Yes. You know what that reminds me of?
That's the
when
problem.
People are arguing Kane and Fedor, you're like, but Verdun beat both and finished them. So you're right. Nunez could slip.
I would kind of want you to apologize.
Oh, you did say Nunez.
Okay. I'm a maniac. I mean, it's not that far off from what you jive turkeys
did.
But
Tate did have an extra title in Strikeforce, whereas Nunez didn't.
I have Tate.
Oh. Okay, then where's Cyborg?
Well, that was my explanation.
Okay. I didn't hear you, actually. All right, so I guess that's it. All right, Brandon.
Gentlemen.
Did we even get to the crux of your call? I forgot.
No, that was it. We were talking women's MMA. You nailed it. Gigi, as always, you did fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Blue, I will see you in September, guys. Maybe I'll see you sooner. Who the hell knows?
All right, buddy. Take care.
Get back
Happy holidays. Let's talk to Oreo from Alberta, Canada. What's up, Oreo?
How you doing, man?
Hey, guys. I hope you guys had a great weekend or a great holiday. Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
And Happy New Year. Yeah, so, hey, speaking of Cyborg, what do you do with, if she does beat Holly Holm, what do you do with the division? I mean, there's nobody there. Are they going to, I don't know who's in charge of the featherweight division. Is it Meg Maynard or Sean Shelby? But what do you do if you're them?
I
think
there's she's handled by Shelby. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
And speaking of Cyborg, that interview's been moved to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so I think Cyborg is just a superstar fighter who you're going to have to hope others rise in time that you can capitalize on that. Otherwise, you're just going to have to give her lambs and feed those lambs. Like Evinger was a lamb in a way. Now, she did have the credentials of, hey, I just have the balls to step up, 10-fight win streak. I want to move from Invicta to the UFC, and now she just got a fight, by the way. So now she's solidified in the UFC. So that was her ticket in. But who are the other ones? Lena Landsberg, and credit to the young lady from Santa Ana, part of the Diaz crew, Leslie Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. She went up there, she competed when no one else wanted to. But that's all she's going to get is these sacrificial. Megan Anderson's the only one I can think of where you can go, okay, but then what after that? Who are the ones after that? I don't know that anyone's really separated themselves just yet. Can they do that while Cyborg is there? I don't know. Cyborg may just have to be a phenomenon, like a fabulous Moolah, someone that's just unbeatable. You put her on a card and she's just unbeatable for the next few years, and until the bigger gals start competing and making it a division that we all look forward to. They just think there. If Holm wins, that might not be the end of the world for the UFC, because then they could do the second fight, which I heard there's already a rematch clause maybe, and then possibly a trilogy if Cyborg were to win that. But we start getting so ahead of ourselves that my mind doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's funny. I was doing when I was doing tape study for this fight, and you go back and watch the early Strike Forces, which was really fun. I went all the way back and watched all of Cyborg's fights, and it was great because if you guys remember in Strike Force, they used to announce it not as they didn't emphasize the women's 145-pound featherweight belt or featherweight. Strike Force brings you a special attraction. Remember that? And they would say special attraction.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to kind of maybe not necessarily go back to defining things on titles, but I think we need to manage our expectations going forward with whatever happens with that division, because if we really think about it, if they try to defend it like other divisions, we'll end up with like that Family Guy episode where you have Chris Griffin fighting an imaginary bear in there, like, oh my god, he's hurting him, like it's gonna it get loopy. So I think we just got to manage our expectations going forward with that division.
If they have a great fight, there's the rematch, and if they don't have a great fight, there's Megan Anderson, and then after that, there's a big fall off to whoever might be next. Oreo, anything else?
Do you guys even have featherweight rankings in the junkie?
We do. We do, but we could only come up when I attempted them about a year ago or 6 months ago. I could only look people in the eye and say there's 8. I think there was 8 quality featherweights where you could go. There you go. You couldn't even get to 10. 9 and 10 would have been, some soccer mom in South Africa that knows how to fight, and fucking maybe what's her name from South Beach Toe? I would have had to throw her in there, just make up a fight that she participated. What was her name?
South Beach.
Bernice. She was tough. And if Sharkiza happens to be over 145, we could throw her in there. But there just isn't that many out there. Oreo is the problem.
I mean, I remember, George, you got a lot of heat for this a couple years ago. And I used to hit on you as well when you were like, I like the girl power, I like the, female martial arts, but the talent just isn't there. And before I was like, man, George, you're a hater, but now I'm looking at it.
You see?
To be real with you, you're absolutely right.
Well, when it comes to a new division, though.
No, even 25.
Even if
25,
you look
you look at the talent, the season was great, the finishes were there. The main event was awesome the other day at the Tough Alley with Roxanne and Moncat. What was her name? Nico won.
Montano.
But their star power isn't there because I don't think they've built up these resumes yet. I mean, Valentina dropping, JJ going up, that'll help, and a few other ones. Eventually, it'll get there. But look at the hit 35 took. Tate retired. Rousey retired. Cat fights once a year. It's like once every 18 months. Juliana's pregnant. Now is the 35 division as exciting as it was about a year ago? Not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 15's amazing. I love 15.
But you didn't make this remark yesterday. You made this a while back ago.
Well, because all the divisions were kind of like that. I just felt like you got past a certain amount of 8, 10, and there was just this fall off that you didn't get too fired up about.
Yeah, I think just the storylines are lacking too there. But yeah, you're right.
All right, Oreo. Thank you, man.
All right, take care, guys. Happy New Year.
All right. Did you say we have one more caller, Danny, or no?
2 more.
We actually have 2 more.
Oh, fuck these motherfuckers.
Don Chow and Kendra.
All right, we got to take a break because I can only put off Cyborg so long. All right, she's going to get pissed off at me.
I'll talk to her.
You'll talk to her?
Yeah.
So what do you want to do, calls or a break?
Kendra. Man, you got to get Kendra on. She was so nice.
Okay. Oh, so she bought her way in, huh?
She bought her way in.
All right.
Kendra, to buy their way in.
Kendra from Humboldt, how you doing?
Well, I was doing great until you forgot my name, George, so I figured I'd better call in before the end of the year.
Didn't I say Kendra from Humboldt?
No, remember yesterday you said that the power couple, Mindra, Mike and Kendra.
Okay. Well, I caught myself like 0.4 of a second later.
No, it's all good. You're a goldfish. It's cool. On the Mount Rushmore, and I think for a female Mount Rushmore is perfect because, as you guys were saying, there's not a lot of, I want to say talent. I mean, there's not a lot of females in any of the divisions. We knew this was going to be a risk and a problem bringing all of the women over into the UFC. We started with 135. Dana brought Ronda Rousey over, so she's, of course, on the Mount Rushmore for even bringing MMA to UFC. Women into the UFC. Cyborg, you have to give it to her. I mean, she's Strikeforce Invicta champ. She has been the one person we've been trying to get over to the UFC for years. No matter who it's fighting against, she has always been the person you expected to come over. Joanna Jacek, I think she deserves to be there, but to George's point, she needs to have a comeback. She doesn't have a clean record, but that's okay. The last spot, I didn't know if I should give it to Gina or Misha. And when you get nostalgic, you go to the Gina side because she really was the first woman who brought women's MMA to late-night talk shows. She broke into the movie industry as the first female mixed martial artist. I think Misha has done a lot and will continue to do a lot, whether it be at the Fox desk or now managing fighters and bringing young talent in. But I give that fourth spot to Gina.
Okay, so to recap, you have Gina, Cyborg, JJ, and I missed the other one. Oh, Ronda. Okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
That's a good list.
And then, I mean, it's a short list, and there's not a lot of people to choose from, which makes it kind of easy. I would completely disagree with you guys putting Amanda Nunes in there just because...
Ooh, she's coming at you guys. That was you.
Yeah. Nice to her too. I'm mad.
That's all right. You can be mad. But I just don't think that she has been as impactful. She is certainly a star. She certainly has talent. One of the things that the divisions from a female perspective will probably always struggle with is the fact that we as women are not pushed to go into physical sports like that. I mean, soccer, sure, get us into soccer or volleyball or basketball, but never was I ever encouraged to go into a martial art as a child. It was dance, it was ballet, it was jazz, things like that. So me now being a parent, I have to say Juan Lee, as a baby shower gift, sent me a white gi and a pink gi for the twins.
Oh,
and as soon as they
that's
fit
awesome.
into those gis, as soon as they fit, they will be in jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
But it's not something that every woman is pushed into, so it makes the divisions shallow.
Yeah, and then there's the whole motherhood thing. I think just, I think women's careers just aren't going to have longevity like some of the males. But that said, I don't know that we'll see the Hendersons and Coutures those 20-year careers either, just because the sport's so violent now. It's so competitive. And the money's better. You can come in and 10 fights while you used to have to do 20 to 25 fights. Great call, Kendra. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Happy New Year, guys.
All right, you too.
Easy, Kendra.
All right, so let's take this break. I can only hold off Cyborg for so long, and she's getting mad. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Cris Cyborg, the headliner at UFC 219. I'll leave you with this, though. Blue, Randy, Dan, Danny, and Goes. If we have time, if somehow we talk ourselves into doing a little OT, I'd like to know what your Mount Rushmore of female fights is. We'll be right back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93.
They are the stretch marks on the underbelly of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tats. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device, and then tell Alexa to set an alarm for your favorite channel, and you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. All right, folks, we are going to talk to Cris Cyborg Santos, who is headlining UFC 219 versus Holly Holm on Saturday. It is a pay-per-view, and it's a matchup between two of the baddest fighters on the planet. Let's play that interview with Cris Cyborg.
All right, folks, joining us now on the hotline is Cris Cyborg, the UFC featherweight champion. She will be defending her belt against Holly Holm on Saturday. It is a pay-per-view. Go out there and support. It's a great card, and the UFC's been on fire. The last two cards have been amazing. You don't want to miss out. Get that pay-per-view and watch two of the baddest women on the planet mix it up in the main event. Don't forget that co-main event is Edson Barbosa, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Joining us now on the hotline is Cris Cyborg. Hi, Cris. How are you?
Great. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
All right. Yeah, we recently had you on. We were talking about the teddy bears, and people are going to bring them by our studio. But, it's been about a week and a half. So we're happy to have you back on MMA Junkie Radio. How was your Christmas? Let's start with that.
My Christmas, I was getting prepared for come to Vegas. We did one nice dinner with my friends and my family, all of my family in Brazil. My brother come to my fight. But I was blessed, pray, go church, be with my friends, and be me, being on diet. I did training, I did Christmas training. Yes, but it's okay. Focus for my fight.
All right. So you didn't really do the whole Christmas gifts. Did you open gifts and all that, or?
Yes, I open gifts. Yeah. You don't get away to open the gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
no, I understand. All right.
Really special.
All right. And I also know you traveled, I believe, during those days. And I noticed you brought your cat, Layla, with you. Is she good luck, or do you always travel with her?
Yes, she's have just 1 year, and I think her third vacation with me. I really like her. She's easy to work with, and it's something you have to distract your mind, I really like it.
Yeah, no, I understand. Now, I introduced you by saying, these are two of the baddest women on the planet. And some people are even going so far as to say that the winner of this fight is arguably the baddest woman in combat sports ever. Do you agree with that, Cris?
I don't know. I think people say a lot of things. I think this fight, I think I did a lot of things for sport. I think this is kind of his own fight, and then, I don't know, but I think you're going to be the best fight maybe, if you really want to fight, just run, and you want to get in the belt, I think you're going to be fight for defense Saturday, and if you want to beat the champion, let's come fight, and let's see what's going to happen, I don't know. This is defense thinking, but let's go see.
This is Cris Cyborg, the UFC featherweight champion, joining us here on the hotline. I do believe the winner of this fight is the baddest woman on the planet. So you've done submission grappling, you've done Muay Thai, and you've been a Strikeforce champion, Invicta champion, now UFC champion. So those are amazing credentials. Holly's been a boxing world champion and a UFC bantamweight champion, so world champion there as well. So the credentials are there, Cris. I think not only is this the baddest woman on the planet title, possibly the baddest woman ever, and then at the same time, the pound for pound rankings for all the women. Now that Joanna has lost her, she ended her title reign. I think there's a lot at stake here in this fight.
I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think Holly have a lot of experience in boxing. She's before champion in her division. But I don't know. But they have a lot of records. Record. I think. I don't know. I really don't know. I leave you guys think about. But I think it's gonna be an amazing fight. And of course, this fight, who's gonna win? You're gonna change your career. Change it because I accept fight Holly, but Holly come 4 fights, and then the 4 fights will beat the last fight only. And man, I'm 12 years undefeated. You know, it's a big challenge for her too. You know, and for sure, if she beat me, you know, she's gonna have big name and big plate. Let's see what's gonna happen.
That's right. For all the young girls that might be listening, all the young ladies that want to fight, it is true. Cris has not lost in 12 years. On May 17th, she actually lost her first professional fight. Since then, 17 straight. So never give up on yourselves. Maybe one day you can be the next Cris Cyborg, young ladies. All right, Goes, what do you have for Cris Cyborg?
Cris, whenever we see you fight, it never seems like you're slowing down. You always seem like you're getting better. You're just as fast as you were 10 years ago. What do you think? Like, is there a limit in your head for how long you want to fight?
I know my last fight when I hold the belt with the C belt, I was thinking this is my new chapter in my career. You know, I don't have any bad injury. You know, I'm still very healthy, and then I think I have a long time still. You know, and then I love to train. I love my job. Each time I'm not tired of learning. You know, each training I learn. You know, I open for learn and for getting better each fight. You know, and be better. And then I think when you have a long time, you're getting experience too. And then getting better in the octagon, you know, comfortable, you know, do what you got to do. And I don't know, I feel like I have a long time still, you know. I think I love my job, and I want to keep working hard and do my best I can in the octagon.
If you look at all your victories, is there ever anything on your bucket list, like a specific way you would like to win a fight? You know, a flying knee or a spinning back fist, anything like that that you haven't done yet?
You know, I'm a brown belt, 2 times world champion. Maybe this fight I can show a little bit. Is maybe I can submit her. You know, maybe I don't know. Maybe I can be my first one bar. You know, beat her from one bar. I don't know. But you know, it's MMA. You know, I have a lot of tools for me can use for this fight, and then. But maybe if you have this opportunity, but you know, people know my style, like no way, like KO the girls. If I have the opportunity to meet, I will, you know.
And also, I want to let everybody know that tomorrow, December 28th, from 1 to 3 p.m., it's the UFC Open Workouts at the T-Mobile Arena lobby. It is free and open to the public, so you can come check out Khabib Nurmagomedov, Edson Barboza, and the main eventers Holly Holm and Cris Cyborg work out. Also, tomorrow is one of 2 days where you can drop off a teddy bear here at the MMA Junkie Radio studio, and we will be here from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., so bring your teddy bears. After the fight, post-fight, Cris Cyborg and her team will deliver the teddy bears to the children at the Sunrise Children's Hospital here in Las Vegas. Hashtag UFC 219, hashtag Bear for Kids. All right, Cris, just a couple more questions. Another thing that's going to be unique to this fight is, as UFC champion defending now, you get your pay-per-view points, so you're going to make some good money in this fight.
Yes, you know, it's a consequence of hard work, and then I'm very thankful, you know, for this opportunity. Thankful for UFC, Dana White, for giving me this opportunity to fight in, you know, New Year's, and then you know, main event, and let's see this amazing fight, and all the fans very excited about.
Yeah, so you're reminding all the fans out there, buy that pay-per-view.
Yes.
All right. One other thing here. Boxing. I'm hearing you want to maybe box. Is that like in 2018 or after your MMA career's over?
You know, I love to challenge myself, you know. I compete everything. I'm doing mixed martial arts, but I like compete everything separate, like just Muay Thai, just Jiu-Jitsu, just wrestling. And I never had the opportunity to fight only boxing. And I really love boxing, you know. I train really hard. All my friends who train at the gym, you know, I train with them only boxing. And then if I have the opportunity, why not, you know? Why not? And then maybe before ending my career, I can do one boxing fight. It'll be amazing, you know. Basically, finish my career is like gold key.
All right. And the last question I want to ask you, this is something that you covered at the beginning of training camp. You wanted equal testing for you and Holly. How many times were you tested, I guess, here during your training camp? And do you feel like it was equal to Holly? Did they come close to what you wanted, equal testing?
You know, I don't have any problem with Holly, but her team starts speaking bad things about me, and then throw rocks about me, like, she's doping. And then I say, okay, if I don't have any problem, you know, if Usada tests me 20 times during my camp, test her 30 times that I can, because then show up at my house 5 a.m. You know, if you're gonna mess with my day, messing for a day too, it is fair. And you know, but I know nothing about. I think Holly, you know, is no clean, nothing like that. Just about her team speaking bad things, and I don't think it's right to throw rocks on people, and you have like a glass house, because her team is the history of the MMA is the worst one. All the fighters fall test USADA, you know, have doping problems. And then I don't think you're right to, you know, judge people. And when you have problems too, you know, before I have one mistake in my career, 2012, it's a long time, and the people always like to remember this mistake. I don't have any problem with that, but I passed through this, you know. I overcome everything. And then, you know, I'm the first athlete signed with USADA 1 year before signing with UFC. You know, for sure, I'm a clean, prove I'm a clean athlete, prove I want to change, prove a lot of things, you know, and then, but it's okay, you know, I don't have any problems, you know, I just don't want any excuse after the fight, after beat Holland and say, oh, I don't have any excuse, you know, I do my best I can, and I train really hard, and let's see, I'll leave in God's hands this fight.
It goes down on Saturday, UFC 219. Get that pay-per-view, folks. Two of the baddest women on the planet fighting for Chris's UFC featherweight title. Thanks for the time, Chris. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget about Ted Bear.
Teddy Bears, that's right. We'll be here tomorrow on Friday. Chris will scoop them up and deliver them to the Sunrise Hospital here in Las Vegas. Great stuff, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks. That was our pre-record with Cyborg. Cris Cyborg. You don't think we're crazy enough to keep pushing her back. Definitely not for Brandon from Louisville or Oreo for crying out loud. Yeah, maybe Kendra. But no, it was a pre-record. We did it earlier. We came in earlier, so it's fresh. It only happened about an hour and a half ago, and we talked to her, and we had just talked to her, but we had a chance to talk to her again. So thank you to Isaac from the Tag Awareness for making that one happen. And thanks to the guys. Danny Okers came in early. The guys came in to make this happen. So it was nice to catch up with arguably the baddest woman on the planet, Cris Cyborg, who defends on Saturday versus Holly Holm. And another reminder, we'll be here early tomorrow and stay late. At least I will. And if the guys want to come in, great. But I'm the one that kind of committed this studio space. 8 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. That's the time here, local time. If you want to drop off a teddy bear, Cyborg, Team Cyborg Nation will scoop them up from here and take them to the kids at the Sunrise Children's Hospital. A great gesture by Team Cyborg. We're going to take our last break, and when we come back, we will talk to Don Chow. I think I'm going to read off some iTunes comments, and we'll just keep rapping here. I think I've gotten the approval from 3/4 of the group to stay OT. Oh, Dan chimed in. He's staying. Buffalo Blue, little OT.
I'm in.
And we'll chop it up. What I want you guys to think about, again, is the Mount Rushmore of female fights. I'm going to let you guys know what 3 of mine are, only because I can't really narrow down that last one. But I think Carano versus Cyborg. It had a build-up. Was the fight a classic? No. But it had the build-up, and it was a landmark moment. I also had Misha versus Ronda 2. Again, build-up through the season. Misha was the first one, I think, to take her out of the first round. Still lost, the handshake, all that stuff. And then I thought Claudia and Joanna, too, also had that sort of a build-up. The last one's the one I'm struggling with, and we'll see. Now, the guys can take it in the route of fight of the night, bloodbaths, bonuses. Okay, but I was looking more for the significance of women's history. So, whatever. Let's just have fun. There's no right or wrong. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. Stay close, and we'll be right back. Oh, hell yeah. Go
Calm,
blue. Go
compassion,
blue.
common
Go
sense.
blue.
These
Go
guys
blue.
have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
SiriusXM wants you to turn on the joy this holiday season with your chance to win a trip to one of 4 all-star sporting experiences. The 2018 Pro Bowl in Orlando, the Honda NHL All-Star Game in Tampa, the NBA All-Star Game in Los Angeles, or the MLB All-Star Game in our nation's capital. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/All-Star-Trip before January 2nd, 2018. No purchases necessary to enter or win. This sweepstakes is not sponsored, administered, produced, or executed by either the NHL, NBA, MLB, or the NFL entities. Also, to enter this contest, you must listen to the rest of the song. Go ahead, Danny. All right, we've had enough. That is one of my favorite Jackson 5 songs.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yep. All right, let's clean up a few things here. We have to do Don Chow. We have committed to overtime. We're going to do a Mount Rushmore and Showtime. And anything else, guys? Oh, maybe iTunes comments. So here we go. First is Don Chow. What's up, Don?
What's up, George, Goes, Dan, Randy, and the limousine riding, styling, profiling, jet flying, and stair rail sliding Buffalo Blue.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
That's got to be my most memorable event of a couple gatherings.
You witnessed
watching
it?
Blue slide down a rail.
You did witness it, though.
I was there right behind him.
Okay. How many people witnessed that?
Vicky saw it. Doncho saw it. I think Dante saw it, right?
Dante saw it.
That might have been it.
It was a September one. Maybe Al?
Maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think we could have said he.
But
slid
no
down
one
the
taped
Empire
it.
State Building
He
and
did it
hollered
so
the
fast
words
that
to
no one
State.
taped it?
No, he didn't even say it. He just sat on there and just went down. Like, some people didn't even see him get on. He just flew past them.
So quicker, we will see a video of Lee Murray hitting Tito Ortiz before someone produces Buffalo
Well,
Blue.
I guarantee you, if somebody in security was watching, they would have. That would have been one that they saved. Like, hey, let's burn this one.
Okay. Proceed, Don.
Hey, guys, I'm actually really excited about the co-main with Barbosa and Khabib. And I'm assuming this is a title eliminator. I mean, number one contender fight. Am I correct?
I think so. But what you mean is that the winner fights the winner of Tony versus Conor, right?
Correct.
Then, yeah, I would say if Khabib wins, he'll do it. Even though he's had injuries and weight-cutting issues, for some reason, that guy, I think, just has this big audience in Russia, and the UFC wants to capitalize on it. If Barboza smokes the guy I just mentioned, then he may have an argument, but I think Eddie Alvarez's fight over Justin Gaethje and the fact that he was a former champion, man, he might get some love too. I don't know. Poirier also, if he has a chance to fight either on the same card as Conor versus Tony or just, I don't know, somebody else, he may sneak in there as well. But yeah, to answer your question, I think Khabib is leading the way. Hang in there, Don. We'll let you talk and ask more questions. Let me do this soft exit for our SiriusXM audience. Let you know that we will be back tomorrow and all week in support of UFC 219. It goes down on Saturday. Tune in to more combat sports and entertainment programming, and the rest you head on over to our official Facebook page for overtime.
Never be the same again. I'm gonna keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If my wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swing in time.
You guys are clear for overtime.
Proceed, Don Chow.
Yeah. You know, with Khabib and his record, man, I'll be honest, until about 8 o'clock Saturday night, that fight is cemented in jello for me. But I'm really hoping, Khabib's healthy and they put on a good fight. But so if this is a possible
until the
number one contenders fight, what are we looking at? Like the gathering, next year's gathering for a title fight? Because we haven't even got Tony and Conor set up. I'm assuming we'll have to wait another 3 or 4 months for the next fight.
Look, let's just go with the fact that, or no, not the fact. Let's just go with the rumor that they may fight in March. Let's just say that really is what's going to happen, right? If they fight in March, and the fact that Conor hasn't fought frequently, something tells me that Conor might want to get another one in if he wins and then box. If Tony fights, he also hasn't fought much. He fought RDA and then 1 year later fought Kevin Lee. And then if he has to wait for McNuggets, as he calls them, I just think at some point he'll want to get busy. So I put it in the possibility of International Fight Week, July.
Yeah, it just seems like a long time away for whoever wins Saturday night.
It does. But, you know, it's a stacked division. That's why you got to shine on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I mean, see, because I don't think either one, no matter who fights on Saturday, I don't think they can do anything that can, I mean, I'm not even throwing in the Nate Diaz factor for crying out loud. What if Nate Diaz comes in, does the trilogy, and beats Conor? All of a sudden, he's holding cards. He's now a champion. Unless they fight at 70, but the UFC won't let him do that because he's the 55 champion. He's got to defend the belt. So Nate would drop to 55, and he's a real-life dog. He's already beaten him one time. So imagine if that happens and Ferguson's still in the weight, in the holding pattern. My mind will explode.
Well, shit, why don't we just go according to rankings like we're supposed to, and then everything will fall in place?
Because that would make sense.
Yes, it would. Hey, thanks, guys, for taking my call. You have a good rest of the day.
All right,
The
Don.
show would be very boring, too, if we went by rankings all the time. Be careful what you wish for.
See you, Don. Take care. Happy holidays. Showtime from Tennessee. What's up, Showtime? It's yo time.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Not much, and you?
What up? Buffalo Blue and Randy in the house, huh?
What's up, Showtime?
That's right, yeah.
What up? What up? What up, man? I almost had a stumbling block put in front of me, man, but I was able to jump over it and keep it moving. So,
In regards to you coming to Vegas?
Yeah. Instead of me being there Friday morning, it'd be more like Friday night because I was supposed to leave Texas yesterday, and I had to put out a couple fires. I'll tell you guys about it when I get out there, but I'm just about to head out to Arizona here now. So I'll be in Arizona Friday morning, and I'll be coming over from Arizona over to Vegas. So
Okay.
I can't wait.
All right. Well, you're going to miss the belly dancers and Stitch in studio.
Oh, God.
But, yeah.
And it's Stitch's birthday.
It's Stitch's
so
birthday.
we all
There's
know what
going
that
to be
means.
there's going to be a cake. There's going to be tamales. There's going to be belly dancers.
Oh, man. Come on, God.
I was thinking something
Yeah,
else.
I have to watch it, man. I'll be there in spirit, man. But I'll be there Friday night. So
What's the fire you had to put out? Was it Dak Prescott throwing Dez Bryant under the bus there for not catching that pass and creating an interception that led to them getting eliminated from the playoffs?
So what now?
We'll see you on Friday.
Okay, we going to the playoffs, so I ain't worrying about nobody else.
Who's your squad again?
1C.
Who?
My Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, I didn't know
Eagles,
that.
baby.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I don't know if it looks as good as it did when Wentz was there. You know, I mean, you did get home field, but that's tough to overcome. But we'll see, man. It's still a good team. I'll give you that.
Oh yeah, we'll see, man. Okay, I'll see you guys in a couple days, man.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right.
All right. Give me some.
more call.
Oh, one more. Come on, Chingan. Who is it?
It's Dan in Oregon.
He's all right. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
Welcome to OT.
What's up, dude? So, hey, man, what's going on with the UFC and these spaceships, man? Do you think the UFC's going to have a card in Mars or what, man?
The UFC is a psyop. I don't buy into that.
Oh, okay. So what's up? If they do go to Mars, do they have the 165-pound division up there? Come on, talk. What's up?
We can't hear you,
bad
Dan,
phone
you got a bad
service.
connection.
You got to climb out of the well where Buffalo Bill is.
Yeah, he's actually out of the well.
Yeah,
The phone's in the well at the bottom.
Probably with the dog.
Yeah. There you are. All right, start from scratch. Dan from Oregon, what's up?
Last chance.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to talk about the.
Yo, he says.
the Mount Rushmore thing. You got me all flustered now. You gotta have Misha Tate versus Holly Holm on there. In my opinion, that was one of the greatest female fights I've seen.
It did have significance. I will give you that. That was a great fight. It had significance.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
And in my opinion, Joanna, she's a great champion. Never really had a great fight, though, so I got to take that one off the list.
Man, the Claudia fights were good, dude. I disagree.
Second Claudia fight was really, really good.
Yeah. Well, even the first was a split, wasn't it?
Years home, 53,000 in Australia. Yeah, I got to throw that one on there.
But that means you have to throw in Joanna and Rose, because that was the magnitude of that upset as well. It wasn't in a stadium, I get you, but it was in MSG. But the performance, I mean, it wasn't like a well, I guess the significance was the all-time great Rousey got beat. I hear what you're saying. You're not crazy, all right.
Yeah, so I'll take the Carano and Cyborg. That one's definitely on there.
Get that.
And then the other one that you mentioned, Rousey, makes it on my list. And then, so if those are the greatest fights on Mount Rushmore, though, then how does Misha Tate not make your list, in my opinion? So that's how I throw Misha on my list, and maybe not Carano. And then you guys got everything as far as that all goes. So back to you guys, I'm out.
All right, see you, Dan.
See, I'm confused, because we don't have Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson in any mushroom realm. Shut up. Right,
Mushroom realm?
Yeah.
The mushroom realm.
Mushroom realm?
You've been hanging out with Dan from Oregon up there in the Pacific Northwest goes. What's going on here?
Mount Rushmore, okay. Okay, so what do you let's start with Blue. What's yours, Blue?
All right, I've got Kedzie versus Carano.
Oh, for crying! Go next.
No. Hold on.
How's that make any list?
It was the first televised Showtime women's fight that was an absolute brawl. When everybody took notice of female MMA. It was the Bonner versus Griffin moment
I'll
of
sign off
female
on that.
MMA.
All right.
I hadn't even thought about watching.
I guess because I was looking at great fighters fighting great fighters, and Kedzie is a pioneer. Much respect. I don't know that she ever reached great status because I didn't really remember her wearing a belt or anything. But okay,
Were Bonner or Griffin great fighters?
No, but I wouldn't put them on the Mount Rushmore of.
Griffin won a title.
Well, I know, but was he a great fighter?
I don't know.
So, I've got Rousey versus Holm simply from the historical significance of the upset.
Right? Oh, Rousey versus Holm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, sorry.
I've got Tate Rousey 1.
Why not 2?
Great
the
fight.
one in Strikeforce.
Because Tate Rousey 1 is the single best women's MMA round to this date. It's what took me from not really being a fan of women's MMA. Now, I'll admit I was there that night. And I left with a completely different view of women's MMA from it being, break time in a show where I wasn't really interested to when you saw them compete at that high a level and you saw the reversals and the talent of high-level women's MMA. It was incredible. And the last one, I went back and forth between Cyborg Gina or Holm Tate, and I went Holm Tate simply because Cyborg versus Gina, while we built it up, it did 575,000 people watching it on Showtime. I mean, it did a decent rating, but it wasn't, it didn't measure up with some of the other stuff. And Holm versus Tate was the best fight with a comeback, and it was just incredible the whole way, like the tension, everything that you watched in that fight.
Goes?
Well, I thought we were going a different route.
Explain your criteria.
I just thought great fights.
Okay.
So I went with Jessica Panay and Michelle Watterson.
Great fight.
Great
Atom weights.
That was a great
weights, yes.
fight. I went with Jessica Andrade and Claudia Gadelha.
Great fight. A bloodbath in Japan.
Tate Rousey 2.
The handshake.
And then I had Misha and Holly because of the comeback.
The comeback. Yeah. Okay. I've stated mine, and one that I was contemplating was Watterson and Panay as well. I remember just sitting there watching and going, this is a great fight. Hell, you know what? Even Montano and Modafferi showed a lot of heart the other day. I remember saying the same thing about that one. Dan Tom.
Mine's going to be, I'm only going to give you one. So it's going to be my number one because I feel strongly about it. And two, I'm going to balance it out with a plug because, A, you guys are touching on good things. And B, if you want to hear a whole bunch of opinions on breaking out fights, me and George actually, he came on my podcast, a Protecting Nick podcast. I think we did top 5 female fights. So that's archived. Go listen to that if you want. But my number one, I just went with fights. I didn't go with a name or anything like that.
That's the topic you picked when George came on?
George picked it. I know. That was the craziest thing.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I let you pick it. People were like, what? Everyone got the same response too, which is funny. Junkie Nation is like, what? George picked that? I'm like, no, yeah, he picked it. But it's I got to go with Amanda Nunes versus Kat Zingano. That was a fight to me. You want to talk about
Misha, but go ahead.
You want to talk about yes, that too, because you want to talk about visceral, just a visceral fight. I mean, Amanda Nunes, I was kind of not discrediting her, but joining the bandwagon as with Blue as why maybe historically she's not there yet for a Mount Rushmore. But at this time, guys, which was a big deal at this time, I actually had her pegged one of the girls that could beat Ronda Rousey, which sounds like a no-brainer now. But at that time, you sounded crazy for suggesting anybody would beat Ronda Rousey. And she was on a win streak since her Strikeforce loss to Alexis Davis was a long time ago. Amanda Nunes was on this run that was inevitably for the title that we now know. Meets Zingano, and Zingano's going through all those personal issues. She was coming off of that recovery. This was the time where Zingano and Cruz were both coming off their massive turnarounds, putting their names in the history books as outliers. And she's losing. She's getting rocked really bad by Amanda Nunes. If you go watch the beginning of the fight, it's got the fight sways that you like for Fight of the Nights. But at the end, Kat Zingano finishes it with ground and pound. And just go watch it. Go watch the fight and go watch when Bruce Buffer is calling their names for who wins. Is the most visceral scream from a man, a woman, anybody. It was so much pain, so much catharsis. Kat Zingano's scream when Bruce Buffer yells her name. That is a motherfucking fight.
I like it.
Wow.
Right,
you need to do promos for the UFC.
If we're going to talk about like what Gina Carano did for the sport, those kind of feel-good stories outside, then I think you have to give Amanda Nunes credit for what she did for a country and for gay people, right? She's carrying that flag as well. So if we're going to tie things from the outside in, I think she deserves those as well.
Well, the fact that we came up with a list and Amanda starched 2 of them, like I said, I liken it to the arguments I've heard over best heavyweight ever, which includes Fedor, Kane, and Verdum. And when anyone said, Verdum, you're crazy, you just go, he fucking starched the other 2. He finished both. One was a sub and one was a TKO. So I think Nunes just needs to build that case that Fedor had. Fedor had a case. You know, he just dominated for so long. Kane didn't necessarily have that long of a case and tenure, and what hurt Kane is he beat 2 guys 5 times, JDS and Antonio Silva. So there wasn't like, but did you see him in this fight? And did you see him in that fight? Whereas Verdum, and if you look at that run he had, he took out like strikers, whether they were long and lanky or pudgy like Hunt. He took out wrestlers, you know. I mean, he really did have quite a portfolio that he had developed. And of course now I think Stipe, if he can get past Ngannou, I think you have to start taking really a hard look at him as well. But why'd I go to them? I don't even know. Well, but so back to Nunes. Okay. Nunes, I think Blue or Randy, someone said it. Talk to me in 2 or 3 fights in 2018. Right. She could very well be on that list, and she's just gonna have to squeeze out the Carano. Same thing with the way I was squeezing out Fuji. Yes. It was like, hey, we understand your contributions. It's just that we can only pick 4. And at some point, someone has to get lost in the shuffle. Remember Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz? They were in Mount Rushmores up until about 2007 or 8, when Anderson and GSP and BJ Penn started doing their thing. And people were like, well, maybe not Tito. And then, well, you know, Randy got kicked by Lyoto. You know what I mean? Like, great fighters are going to get squeezed out. We're not trying to hurt feelings. Yeah. It's just the sport evolves and the criteria changes. You know, everybody looks at it differently.
Here's the analogy. Here's the analogy for what you're saying. That's perfect. I'm on board with what you just said, by the way. But here's the car analogy for not just this list and this argument, but all the lists and all the arguments. It comes down to you. Are you a guy who enjoys, I use the car analogy, are you a guy who enjoys muscle cars, or you enjoys technology? Of course, you're always going to be able to say, well, the muscle car doesn't have AC, it doesn't have, now we have series, now we have this, now we have automatic steering, now we have all these power brakes. Of course, if you go looking at the argument from there, there, you're always going to lose. The muscle car is always going to lose. But then you have, hipsters like me who just can't get over, who are like, yeah, but they don't make them the same. These are different vehicles. These are pure lead, pure muscle. The craftsmanship. They actually, there's no machine made this. An American made this. There's that approach to it too. And I'm obviously more on the muscle car side. But I guess you got to ask yourself when you look at these lists, where do you sit on?
Right. Did you have a list, Randy?
I did, and this is our Mount Rushmore, so I went with fights that I feel really hit me, and of course Rousey, Rousey Holly.
Yeah,
for
great
sure.
one.
That's definitely going to be one. I like the Holly Tate, so I think that was on somebody's list as well.
Mhm.
But the other two, I really like. I liked Rousey Amanda, Rousey Nunes.
Yeah.
I thought that was an iconic fight for a lot of people that thought Ronda would come back, and she got starched even worse than pretty much Holly.
See, I'm willing to give you one of them. Like, if you'd say, I like the significance of Rousey getting unseated by Holm, then I feel like when you give me another one of those one-sided beatdown, because that's what it was, man. Nunes one-sidedly beat down Rousey.
Like that was the
then I'm like, you're halfway to just give me a Mount Rushmore of just massive upsets, and then I'd say throw Rose and JJ in there.
That's my fourth.
And I guess whatever else. I feel like Mount Rushmore has Washington in there for a reason. He was the first. I don't know how great he was. Lincoln, he came at a time when our country was divided, and then but really like Jefferson and Roosevelt, I'd have to study up and see what was their significance. Why were they in there? Because Jefferson was the third president. Washington was one. Well, why not the second one? The first Adams. What happened? So, as I'm understanding these, I don't think there's a wrong answer, but I don't know. Like I said, it seems like you're halfway towards just a big upset of Mount Rushmore's.
But when you look at, I think that was the coming of Amanda Nunes in what the public thought about Amanda. Oh my God, she unseated Ronda. Everybody wanted to see how she was going to do against Ronda. She starches Ronda, and then now I think she just got to another level after that fight, as far as popularity from people, recognition from her. And I think years from now, that fight will be significant in Mount Rushmore. As of my fourth one, which is what you had alluded to, was Joanna and Rose. I think everybody thought Joanna was never going to lose. And she lost significantly.
And if she ascended to 25 and did damage there, I mean, she would really start to take the lead as far as
so to me, that's a big fight. And again, we may not see that until 5 years from now, but I think that is a big that's an iconic fight, and especially if Rose turns out to be big somewhere down the road. So I'm more of a what have you done for me lately type of guy too. I don't really want to go back to Carano and whatever. And I think what has affected me, I think those four fights really, really I watch a lot of these fights at Buffalo Wild Wings, and when you see what happened, the result, everybody in there's going, these are people that don't even watch MMA.
Yeah.
So I think those are my Mount Rushmores, and I think those will stand the test of time to people.
Oh wait, so give them to me one more time. I think I cut you off on the third.
No, I think the third was Nunes.
Rousey. And you had Rousey Holm, and you had Holm and Tate.
Holm and Tate.
And then who's the fourth?
Joanna and Rose, the one that just happened.
Rose. Oh, so you really are 3/4 of the way towards
almost, yeah,
like a Buster Tyson type thing, like a wow moment. Don't get me wrong, I just remember losing my mind at these fights.
I think all four
but
of
it was
those
for different
I lost
reasons.
my mind,
yeah, just because they were the unexpectedness of it.
But there wasn't just me though. These were people that don't necessarily watch MMA that were losing their minds. I don't think people were losing their minds over Carano and
But there was a build-up, man. There was a build-up. I remember when it finally happened.
You had to be
and Morrow goes, "Here we go," or whatever it is to start the fight. I just remember thinking,
you got to be a hardcore.
Wow, like
you had to be a hardcore.
You had to be a hardcore
experience that build-up.
So to me, a Mount Rushmore is what has it done for the whole community of just people in general. I mean, obviously you got to put Rousey Holm in there. I mean, everybody went nuts.
Casual people knew when Ronda Rousey was going to fight. Why can't I say the R word today? And then, but the Gina Carano fight, it's like people really had to be hardcore.
I think any Rousey fight where she lost, which obviously is only 2 fights, those are going to be up there with people that just don't net casuals.
Hey, does anybody know? I know we had to get going, but we'll finish with this. Is Rousey officially with the WWE? Like, was there a contract signed or anything, or is there just strong rumors or links?
Looking like that's what's going to happen.
But will she just dip in like Brock just call me for the big ones, or is she gonna like actually every Monday we'll see her on Raw?
I think she dips in.
Dips in and out.
Yeah.
Because I heard Busted Open talking about them, and then I also heard Bully Ray, who I like. What was the other guy's name? Delon?
Oh, Bubba Ray.
Bubba Ray
and Devon Dudley.
Who's the guy that hosts on Busted Open? Is it Bubba Ray? It's not Bully Ray?
Bully Ray?
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the...
Those guys wore fatigues,
Yeah?
didn't they? Those guys wore fatigues,
Yeah.
right? They were exciting.
Who was the third one? Spike? Yeah. Spike Dudley.
Those guys were fun to watch as a tag team, so I liked them. But he hates MMA. He went off. He just doesn't like the fans, the media, the athletes, to the point where I wanted to call in, not really to confront him, but just go like, whoa, 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 take it easy. Like, is it the fans? Or because no matter what, man, if boxing hates MMA or if MMA hates boxing or those two hate pro wrestling or whatever, you still have to stand back and go, I get what you guys are doing. Much respect. How does someone not get what MMA athletes do? I mean, these guys try their hardest. They're kind of clowning the fact that they try and do pro wrestling promos, you know, but they're actually respecting pro wrestling by borrowing a little bit of what it takes to build up a fight. But in the end, when they enter, nobody knows who's going to exit the winner. Whereas pro wrestling, it's pretty easy for me to go, on Saturday night, Goes will get stretchered out. We can write that into the script. Stretcher his ass out. So that I can come back the following and say, did I not say Goes would get stretchered out? On Saturday, Randy's getting, you know, and we can write that in too, so I look like a god. You know, everything I say goes. All that can be pre-written. Now, I get it that it takes talent to say all that and be smooth and get the fans in it, get the fans to the arena, and do it live on television and then take those bumps. I'm not discrediting anything like that. But the one thing you have to realize about what MMA fighters do is those fists. I mean, you know, anything can change. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? And it's not just like, it's not just the striking you have to worry about. It's so many other things. You know, there's just in the striking alone, the kicks, the elbows, the spinning back fist. I mean, King Mo should not have lost to Emmanuel Newton. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, boom, a spinning back fist. He's out. He had one of the craziest KOs ever. But now throwing the grappling and the conditioning, I mean, it's I don't understand why it was coming at him so hard. I get it that that's the way radio is. Come in with a take, come in strong, get people riled up. That's what happened to me. But I still felt like it was a bit much for him to not get how great of a sport we have.
I will say, though, MMA is still lacking the Ric Flair chop. I think that might be able to sway him if we can get a guy that can start executing that. You know, really, especially with the new microphones they have, you know, in the Octagon, that'll really reverberate to the non-believers.
Yeah, really. All right, enough. Let's get out of here. Randy, we'll see you the rest of the week. Yeah, all right, and Blue's hanging out. So that is it for today. Tomorrow, Alex Davis will co-host. We still got to put together a few more guests. And, of course, Friday, we have Jeff Juarez, the Muay Thai promoter that was on recently. He's going to co-host. So is Stitch Duran. It's Stitch Duran's birthday. It's going to be fun. Fun way to close out the week. So, we are out of here. Keep it locked on MMA Junkie throughout the week. We have writers and videographers hustling all over town, giving you the best coverage for UFC 219. Which takes place on Saturday. There's also 2 other cards that a lot of you are going to be watching, anticipating. I'm sure we'll try and glance over them tomorrow, and that's the Ryzen cards. There's 2 of them within 48 hours, and they always come up with some crazy stuff over there. I haven't really dove into the cards much. I think there's a Bantamweight Grand Prix going on, and Gabby Garcia is going to fight, I don't know, some 95-pound wrestler.
Chase Coburn.
Yeah, Chase Coburn.
Yes, yes.
We're out of here, man. Have a good day. Be champions.
Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.